Well, well, well. Nico Harrison, you, my friend, are not slick at all. Because not only did you attach a second round pick to trade Luka Doncic, you attached a second round pick to trade Quentin Grimes, who just had an absolute career night the other night against the Golden State Warriors. I mean, this guy is egregious.
That is correct, yeah. Nick Legend, who I would still love to have on my team right now, but it's unfortunate.
You don't need Quentin Grimes.
I liked him
You
a
need
lot.
a big.
Well, Mitch is back, but I liked him. Deuce is like our better version of Quentin
Deuce
Grimes,
is playing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you see today that they sent out their season ticket emails to people for next year, and they raised the tickets 8%?
The Knicks?
No, the Mavs.
I think I think you got sent out.
No, that's real.
Is it real?
That's
Because
real.
I saw it on NBA
No,
memes.
no, it's real.
Okay.
They sent it out, and apparently in the press release they put like why they chose, like they rose the prices. I think it's real. Someone in the comments fact check, but I saw on TikToks today. I saw like 5 TikToks about it, and they quoted, and it was on Front Office Sports too.
Okay.
That's reliable.
Yeah, that is a reliable source.
So, and they were like, when it comes, I think I can't words. They're like, you get first pick at marquee games, like when we play the Lakers.
Oh, wow.
And everybody got so pissed off that they used that team specifically as a reason why they chose the price.
That's lame.
the prices.
Joe Tsai did that to us when we traded KD. He rose season ticket prices by I don't remember if it was like 10 or 12%.
Every year that tends to happen, but for a team that's lost talent, you don't really want to raise. No one's gonna buy tickets.
Right.
Like the Lakers could raise their prices if people are like,
Right.
that's fine.
Right, yeah, because but the Mavs, you just traded away your 25-year-old
Exactly.
superstar. You might not even have Kyrie Irving on the roster next season, and you have the audacity to raise your prices by 8%. That's nasty work.
Yeah, the owners of the Mavs right now are out of touch. That's something we've used very much with a lot of NBA terminology.
Yeah.
They're out of touch with their fans, like the Mavs specifically.
There's some rumors circulating that they might not even stay in Dallas because it's they have a lot of casinos in Vegas.
Yes.
So people were saying that they might move the team to Vegas,
Wow.
and then a new expansion team would launch in Dallas, which
Wow.
would be pretty sad.
Well-
but honestly, Dallas could use a fresh start like that.
The rumor that I also heard from someone that told me, I think it was it at my job? I don't remember. I think it was that. So the owner of the Mavs is a big casino guy.
Yeah, he is.
And he wanted to open up the casino in Dallas, and Luka does not like it. And also the mayor didn't approve. So to get back at the mayor and the town, he traded Luka away as revenge for declining his casino in Dallas.
I do know that Texas is trying to get sports betting legalized within the next couple of years. So that's a big reason of why they want to build either want to build a new arena or have a humongous casino right next to the arena and inside the arena, because that's their life.
Exactly.
Well, why would Luka why would Luka have any say in what Dallas does as a city?
I mean, he's the franchise player.
No, yeah.
Okay.
But I still don't. I don't think that story is legit.
I don't think it's legit either. I don't.
But yeah, it's
There's
crazy.
a lot of rumor. I mean, there's a rumor that Luka his drinking was too much. Like what?
He did drink beers after games.
So did Jokic, and Jokic is the most in shape
Yeah, like
guy in the league.
everybody
Crazy.
drinks alcohol. It's not a bad
LeBron
thing.
literally.
No, it
drinks
actually is a
wine,
really bad thing.
They-
LeBron drinks wine most nights.
Yeah, and they celebrate after big wins with the champagne and beer battles.
Well, that's
You
different.
see them drinking but they chug beers. It's normal for
It's
them.
usually after you win a big playoff
Well,
series.
yeah,
and
exactly,
have a few
but-
days to recover.
Yeah, but
Because you know what alcohol does to your body, right?
It completely just knocks you out.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
terrible. And especially
Yeah.
if you're an athlete and you're breaking down your body, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments day after day, you need to recover. What alcohol does is it prevents you from recovering. If you have 1 cup of alcohol, you can't recover for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So that's terrible. That's why you're getting a bunch of injuries.
I appreciate your point, but the Lakers now are the second seed in the West. I don't think the beer has anything to do with Luka's performance because they already rose up.
I mean, Luka
4
has-
spots in the West, no problem.
Luka's not been particularly great with the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
He's had 2 good games.
It's
out
just the
the
presence
8
of
he's played.
LeBron. And
LeBron
everybody
got
else.
better. Honestly,
LeBron
Luka
has
being
gotten
there,
better.
LeBron has elevated.
LeBron's not going to retire now for another 5 years.
You know what? You just foreshadowed into what my question is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
And
this is such a sketchy trade, man. I don't like
Yeah.
it. I don't
The
like it.
team is going to get better. JJ is at the helm for probably the next decade.
That has to be the most. He has to be the luckiest person ever.
I don't think he went there knowing Luke was going to get traded there, unless he had some
but
inkling.
It's not him though. It's just the fact that you're coaching LeBron James
He doesn't need to coach him.
and Luka just got traded to that team. So, and Luka's like one of his favorite players. It's just it's so
Yeah.
fortunate.
That's so true.
Like I understand Darvin Ham wasn't a great coach, but come on, he really got dealt a bad hand with
Yeah.
with those rosters.
Of course.
So it is what it is. But we'll talk more about the Lakers later on in the show. So what's going on, everyone? We're back in the studio. Tyler, Anthony, Gio. It's episode 47. We're getting closer and closer to 50. Today, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about one question that every NBA team needs to answer this season.
The relevant ones.
The relevant ones, yeah. We have like the top 21, I think, teams that are competing for a playoff spot, play-in spot. And, these questions can range anywhere from team-related as far as ceiling to anything about a specific player. Could be a playoff-related question. It could be an off-season-related question. Really, the world's our oyster here with these things. And we'll kind of debate that going forward. We also have some other news stories to cover that we'll get into later on in the show. So, guys, do we have any sort of things to say before we dive right in?
No, let's roll.
Let me get one of those chocolate chip pretzels.
These aren't chocolate chip, it's milk chocolate.
Chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah, we got snacks in the studio.
He could have it when we check our audio.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's get into it. So if you guys are new around here and you enjoyed today's video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, hit the bell, trying to get to 5K as soon as possible. If you're on Spotify audio platforms, give us 5 stars, leave a review, answer the polls, all that good stuff. Follow us on our socials in the description down below. Get Gio to 1 million Instagram followers. And with that, let's dive into the first segment. Now, there's been some speculation around the past couple of weeks regarding 76ers center Joel Embiid, as he's been dealing with just a lot of injuries really throughout his life. And, more so over the past few years, we saw him go down against the Warriors last year, had the meniscus surgery. Then he played in the Olympics, looked pretty much fine. And then this season, it's just been banged up after banged up, just has not looked at the top of his game. And, a lot of the sports analysts and media pundits were pressuring Embiid to shut down for the season because the Sixers, for lack of better terms, are garbage. I mean, they're 12th or 11th in the East right now. Yeah. It's not looking good. And on February 28th, we saw a statement pop up on the Sixers Twitter account, which we're going to put on the screen right now. And it says the following: the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid have been consulting with top specialists regarding ongoing issues with his left knee. After further evaluation, it has been determined that he is medically unable to play and will miss the remainder of the season to focus on treatment and rehabilitation. We are working with medical experts to determine the exact treatment plan and will update media when we have more information. The team and specialists will continue working with Joel to ensure the best path forward for his long-term health and performance. So Joel Embiid, in short, is done for the year. He's going to need to seek a lot of opinions on what to do because we've seen so many different, reports of what could happen. Some reports say he might retire. Some say he has to undergo a ridiculously invasive knee surgery that has to break bones to align the tendons better. There's basically a lot that goes into it. So I want to know y'all's thoughts on this whole situation, if you have any more information to bring up.
Wow.
Listen, my MVP.
Oh, that's your MVP?
I'm so upset. But listen, this is like, I'm getting a little PTSD with this Embiid. This is sort of like what we've been experiencing with Kawhi for the past 5 years. And now we're finally seeing him on the court and there's been no issue. But I think the whole Kawhi thing was different with the medical staff. I think the Philly medical staff doesn't really have an input on, I guess, is not forcing these injuries upon him like we heard from the Clippers with that whole lawsuit. I think this is solely Embiid's just physical health. And yes, he played games. He was good. He was not good. But when you're taking off a lot of games like he has for the past, I guess, 2 or 3 years, you're not healthy. If you're like LeBron playing every game, that's when you know you're healthy. And like, I know the Sixers are bad, and it would have been nice to see him still play, but it's not worth it. I guess even the same thing for Paul George. Even they don't need to win. Maxey, of course, still love to see him play. McCain's out. they traded Caleb Martin, which was a big signing. They kind of gave up a little bit. And now I guess they're fully kind of throwing in the towel without throwing out the towel because Embiid was not shut down. He's the big injury problem.
Right.
But in all seriousness, we're probably seeing the beginning of the end for what could have been one of the greatest centers of all time in our
Still
era.
is.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's the beginning of the end.
there's definitely a humongous what if around Joel Embiid's head because, like, you know, he won an MVP. He's won scoring titles. You know, he's one of the most dominant players that we've seen in the league when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, every year it's an injury. One year it's his knee. I think he's broken his orbital bone like 2 or 3 times early on in his career. We weren't even sure if he was going to have an NBA career when he was drafted because he was 300 pounds. He had big foot issues. And, you know, it's tough. And he needed to cut the weight, and he did this offseason. But, you know, he keeps coming back too quickly from these injuries. And I kind of do want to hold the Philly medical staff a little bit accountable here because this isn't the first time we're seeing any of this. They didn't really handle James Harden stuff well. They clearly did not handle the Ben Simmons back stuff well. So
Same thing with Markelle Fultz.
exactly, yeah. So
Interesting.
definitely intriguing regarding that. What are your thoughts on this whole thing, Gio? I know you're a big Embiid guy.
I'm not that big of an Embiid guy, but I think he should definitely go for the surgery. Going back to your question,
Yeah.
he should absolutely go for the surgery because this is his livelihood. This is his career. It's his body. He has to try. At least try. You can't just quit. You know what I mean? You have to go out swinging. So
He's definitely not retiring.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like you have to go for the surgery if you're Embiid. See what happens. Maybe this is like a new revolutionary surgery. I heard you say that this is like a very rare surgery, a very invasive surgery.
Yeah.
So this doesn't happen often, but hopefully it gets the job done because I don't want Embiid to be a what if story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think, how old is he?
31.
He's like he should have plenty of years left.
Right.
You know
like,
what I mean?
He's in his peak. Like, he
Yeah.
realistically, like, should be competing for championships.
Exactly. So I don't want Embiid to be another what if story like Derrick Rose. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want him to try, keep going, get this surgery, see what happens. Let's go. You know what I mean? And then another thing I was gonna say, kind of on like the fun side of things, the funny side of things, is and if you compare Embiid and Jokic, right? Who do you say is better?
Jokic, without a doubt.
Okay. You too? Now, if you compare... Now, what I would do is I would compare Joel Embiid to Derrick Rose. And I would compare Nikola Jokic to Russell Westbrook. Okay? Embiid being the what if, right?
Yeah.
Derrick Rose being the what if. Russell Westbrook and Jokic being the GOATs.
Okay.
So who's better? Is it D Rose or is it Russell Westbrook? Can we just end this
I mean, I would definitely
argument for all time?
I would definitely compare Jokic to a much better point guard than Russell Westbrook.
Well, listen, this is what we're doing.
And it's two different. And it's two different positions.
Two different.
They're two triple-double players. That's why the comparison
Well,
is there.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
right
you could
now-
easily do that to Magic Johnson.
Right now, Russ is better than Rose.
Thank you.
That's my
So
consensus.
all I wanted
as
to
the
do was end
longevity.
that whole
so,
entire
you're, so
argument
you're saying
forever.
if Derrick Rose was healthy, do you think he would have been better than Russ?
Well, if Embiid was healthy, do you think he would have been better than
Well, we
Jokic?
don't know the answer to that question.
No.
I'm
We don't.
asking
We'll
Tyler.
never know.
Well,
Tyler,
I
what do
mean,
you think?
Derrick Rose wasn't abysmal in the playoffs like Embiid
No,
was.
I'm asking you. Do you think Embiid is better than Jokic?
No.
Exactly.
So
I think.
But I think Derrick Rose.
if Derrick Rose is healthy, I think
Derrick
Russ is still better.
But Derrick Rose is a better playoff performer than Joel Embiid. So
Is he though?
yeah, Joel Embiid statistically, I think, has the worst drop from regular season to playoff stats in
Really?
NBA history. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jamal Murray is the highest.
Okay.
And I think Jokic has the second highest.
Okay, a little off topic. But
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely good. It's good, like food for thought.
yeah.
But you know, as far as Embiid goes, the story. I mean, he was successful, right? We all know this. I mean, he started playing basketball at 16 years old when he left Cameroon and became multi-time All-Star, multi-time All-NBA. You know, we could debate the validity of his MVP at a later date, but
He was playing soccer before that, right?
I think so.
Could you imagine he went to
Yes.
like
Yes.
the like what's the soccer league? Premier League or something?
Yeah, he could have gone to La Liga.
Imagine.
He could
And
have
he's
went
7'1", just
And-
like
Yeah, bro,
cooking.
it's crazy, wild. But yeah, it's definitely a shame. And we hope he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the one last thing we'll talk about regarding this situation is this is a very important next few months for the Sixers.
Yeah.
They need to lose as many games as humanly possible because
Oh, they can do that.
well, they can, but however, they need to get the security of at least getting inside the top 5 because their draft pick is they traded their draft pick to the Thunder, and that pick is top 6 protected, which means if that pick is 7 or later, it goes to OKC. So you're looking at a situation where OKC could win the championship and have the 7th pick.
Okay, so they need to get into top 5. This is like you said.
Well, at least
lost
I'm saying like
6.
top 5 because like let's say you have the 3rd worst record in the league, and 3 teams jump into the lottery, you have the 7th pick.
Exactly.
So
Yikes.
that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game they're playing.
Yeah. That I was listening to the whole thing. I mean, it would be great if they win the lottery. I mean, the best thing for them to happen this year is, they know McCain's going to be back next year, and he looked phenomenal with him and Maxey in the backcourt. We're hoping Paul George could be better next year. Who knows?
I don't know, man.
No
But
idea with
if
that guy.
if they win the lottery, I think that will lift all of their spirits up going into next season, or even getting a top 3 pick.
I mean, we'll have to see because
know.
this team's won a lottery, and this team's had a first pick traded to them, and they fucked up both of them.
Markel and who was it?
Ben
Man,
Simmons.
both of them.
So right now, I'm looking at Tankathon. The Sixers currently have the 7th worst record in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right now.
And it's close right now. There's only, I think, a half game separating us and Brooklyn and Philly.
Yeah.
We're just ahead.
Exactly.
And, Toronto's going to get Brandon Ingram back at some point. So Brooklyn and Philly making a late charge towards the top 5, which is exactly
Yeah.
what we need to see. But it's just a really unlucky, unfortunate year. My final question, what happens with Daryl Morey in the offseason?
Oh, this is a good thing. So I was going to bring up Nick Nurse and his job security, but I think he's safe for at least another season or 2.
Yeah, they just hired.
Just because you can't blame him for the injuries, and give him some time. Daryl Morey, I'm not very fond of him. I think going
Not many are.
in a different direction, it would be awesome for Philly, because they're kind of in a retool, rebuild, I guess, type of situation, depending on how their players come back from injury. I would definitely look elsewhere. I think I don't know who it is, but if you take a Pistons route and you find a gem in the fold from a really bad team like Trajan Langdon was in New Orleans, and bring them to your side and completely make that team into the top 6 within a year, that's a win. But you're not going to find, unless you do find that gem, it's going to be tough.
Right.
But I guess bring in a young mind. I know Daryl Morey's on the older side, but I think bringing in a young mind for the young guys on their team specifically would help relate, I think, a little more. Plus with Nick Nurse being a young coach as well.
That's fair.
I think that's the best way to go.
Because, I don't even think it's more so of that. I just think the way Morey handled the past few off seasons has not been great.
Yeah, I think
Mainly the Paul George contract.
Yeah.
The fact that you signed him for 4 years, 200 I think it was 212,
So bad.
Yep.
and he's been arguably one of the most disappointing players this entire season. Not particularly good.
Yeah.
Obviously, you also gave Embiid a 3-year, $193 million contract extension, and he basically has not been playable since. Is another thing. You're going to be paying that man $70 million in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think the way he's handled all this, including the Harden stuff when he came in and came out, not particularly great.
Yeah, the best offseason we graded is now turned into probably unanimously the worst one because
Wow.
Paul George, Caleb Martin's off the team, and
Well, they got Quentin Grimes. That was a win.
Quentin Grimes is the win. Eric Gordon hasn't been seen.
It's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, quite unfortunate as far as the 76ers goes. There's really nothing much you could say about it. So, do we have any sort of final thoughts regarding the Sixers and Embiid?
Not
No,
really.
let's move on.
All right, let's get into the next segment. Let's get into our team spotlight. So, we've been kind of shying away from players because this is the important part of the season where teams really start to perform or fall off, right? So, this is kind of what my spotlight segment's all about. Now, these guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. I did mention this previously before we started filming, so let's see whose
think he has
listening
no idea.
skills
I know.
are on point. So, just tell me a guess. We're not going to waste any time here.
This is the Lakers.
That's the Pistons.
This is the Detroit
The
motherfucking
hell?
Pistons. What do you mean? What the hell? This team just went on an 8-game winning streak.
I know. Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
doesn't
I
know
guess.
ball.
I don't know ball.
Antoine does not know ball.
I heard him say we'll talk about the Lakers later. That's what I got.
Well, yeah, because we're including them in the questions.
True.
So let's talk about the Detroit Pistons. My goodness gracious, I adore this franchise. Like, I almost forgot how fun they were to watch because, like, a good majority of our childhood has been purgatory for these guys, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we know the whole situation regarding, the 28-game losing streak last year and just them being in purgatory until they got Blake Griffin, and it kind of kept them afloat for the time being. But
Remember Andre Drumming, Reggie Jackson era?
drumming is crazy.
Drummond. My fault.
Yeah.
Hold on. You really had to take your shoes off right now?
What, do you want to smell this or something?
No, I literally smell your shoes from here.
Wait, that's
Dead yes. I literally smell them
It's
from
actually
here.
crazy.
this is insane.
So, anyways,
getting
but anyways,
blasted.
Oh
we're
my
going off
God.
on a tangent.
Floor Spacer Pod now knows that my feet stink.
He always likes to talk about your feet. I don't know
No,
why.
because I just got a whiff
whiff?
of foot in this direction. Coming from this direction only.
Respectfully,
Yo.
that just sounds like a skill issue. So, like, that's a you problem. But
It's insane.
But let's get back to the task at hand, the Detroit Pistons. So obviously, going into the season, we didn't really expect much from this franchise. We were expecting just outside the play-in. We all had them like 12th, 13th, along those lines. And my goodness gracious, they're the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. And they look really freaking good. I mean, Cade Cunningham is a first-time All-Star. He's the favorite to win Most Improved Player. I mean, he is just on a tear throughout the entirety of this season, running this Piston squad. You just need to get some adults in the room around him, right? Like, you have guys like Tobias Harris, who's he's been a game
He actually
changer
has been
for
very
the
good.
Pistons.
Never.
Yeah.
He's been great. Malik Beasley's having the season
Oh
of
my
his life.
goodness, what the heck? This
Jake-
guy's a player. I didn't know he was this good.
He was he
Malik is really good.
keeps
Yeah, but-
sleeping on him.
He
Really
stepped up
good.
big time.
He was another guy that was thrown into the Akron Asylum
Yeah.
and did nothing with the Lakers. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is.
He
Who
also
else?
got
Who else?
he also got in some legal trouble.
Yeah, he
back
did.
then a few years ago. That's why they weren't really that high on him.
Right.
He was in
'Cause
the
of that
Wolves,
reason.
right? At one point,
He played for the
Yes.
Nuggets. He played for the,
The
Wolves.
Nuggets,
He
Wolves,
played for
yeah.
the Jazz. He played for a
Wow.
bunch of different teams.
Yeah.
wasn't that good until the Pistons.
Exactly. Because you just need that opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is also there.
He's playing well.
They got Dennis Schroeder at the trade deadline. So, and you even got you got your young talent around Cade as
Right.
well. Like, obviously, Asar Thompson is
Jalen Duren.
amazing. Jalen Duren is great. Jaden Ivey will come back next season. We hope he's doing well and in good spirits. And look, I think we need to start off this segment by you owing an apology to JB Bickerstaff.
Oh me?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
my point still stands.
how is what he's doing mid?
This is a mid team.
No, they're not.
Where are they in the
They're
East?
sixth.
Sixth.
Okay, but it's the East.
Still,
Well,
This is
listen,
still in, what's their
Still.
record? Tell me their record. right now.
34 and 27.
that's not mid. That's not mid. at all.
They're 2 games off of the 4 seed because the Bucks and Pacers are right
Okay,
near
that's
them.
actually insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can confidently say in the Western Conference they would be the 5th seed right now.
Yes.
So
All right,
is
Listen.
that mid?
fine.
Yeah.
They're a little bit above mid. Congratulations, JB.
Listen, looking at this roster, I like the depth they have because all the vets are very comfortable vets that I would love to have, like Tim Hardaway.
Like
he said.
Tobias Harris, right?
I get yes. I would say Tobias.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
If he's not on a prime role, yes, Tobias. is great.
He's got a pretty prime role on
Yeah.
this team. I mean, he's just
Yeah,
like
well, yeah.
forward.
I know, but still, but not scoring a lot. That's like my kind of like Tobias Harris type. I would go for.
He doesn't need to score.
Yeah, I mean, but
He's just there to kind of give Cade the help he needs.
I transcend.
okay.
Tim Hardaway, Knicks legend. Like I said, love him. Always did. Schroeder found his footing here. Beasley, same thing. I was watching a TikTok today. I don't know what it was, a podcast or something. I think it wasn't a Pistons podcast,
Yeah.
but I was talking about the deadline, and I think they were interviewing Malik Beasley, or they interviewed him previously. And Malik was during the trade deadline. He was probably a name that was talked about being floated, traded to another team as a contender. But apparently, he after practice, he went to Langdon's office and said, "Please don't trade me. I want to build something here, and I want to stay here."
I love that.
That was the exact words. And he did not trade him, of course, because he's still on the Pistons. So listen, and Ron Holland is going to only get better.
I forgot about him.
They have my favorite Italian, Simone Fontecchio.
He's
I can't hate this team. You know,
Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about beef stew.
Yeah, he's there. He's out right now though a little, but he's a beautiful backup center to have.
What you mean by that?
He's a beautiful backup center to have.
What?
Hello?
He's someone he's not Mitchell Robinson.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean,
Like that's a good backup center. Like some backup centers are ass.
Okay.
yeah,
Beautiful backup center.
that's crazy. It's nasty work.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, the way the Pistons have been playing, it's caught my eye because we all know how great, the Clevelands of the world, the OKCs, the Bostons, like those are teams that have been overwhelmingly dominant. They have some of the best players in the world. They're teams that are heavy favorites to win the championship this year. And I love the way Detroit is playing. And you look at throughout this 8-game winning streak, they've beaten some really good teams. Like they took down Boston. They took down the Clippers, who have been very hot as of late. They lost to Denver, but they're beating good teams. They beat Atlanta. They beat San Antonio, who aren't at the level of Boston and them, but they're suitable enough that they could easily win one of those games against Detroit. And I love the way they're playing. They beat the Lakers earlier in the season. They've beaten the Knicks, I think, once or twice. So they're a team that has a very high ceiling, and we're really seeing what Cade can do. And I think that's been the most important thing for me specifically, seeing him finally cook with adults around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we were to have like a new star award for like every season, Cade is probably winning this one too, the new star.
Probably.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun offseason for them. They're not going to have a high draft pick probably for once. That's going to be a different thing. But I want to see some improvement from this team in the offseason as well, adding some other guys to maybe solidify the lineup a little bit. Of course, bench depth. But right now, the way it's constructed, looking at it right now, their first and second starting fives are just, I think, as best as they can get. All the good role guys, they're rookies. Ivy, of course, is out. They even have Paul Reed, who's there. I'm not sure he's not playing a lot either.
He's been playing,
playing.
back in 5 minutes. They're actually not going to get a first-round pick this year because their pick goes to Minnesota. It's lottery protected.
Okay.
So
All right. That's fine, though.
they honestly don't need it.
No, that's fine.
I do need to give an apology to Troy Weaver because I didn't like the things he did last season, but he set this whole team up for Trajan Langdon to cook with. And I think, drafting Cade, drafting Ivy, getting all these guys here, Trajan Langdon just picked up where he left off. There were mistakes he made, like hiring Monty Williams. That was a dumb decision. But J.B. Bickerstaff's the man for the job. And, there's realistic scenarios where the Pistons can make a deep playoff run. It's very much on the cards because you're looking at a first-round series. Let's say if the season ended today, you're looking at a first-round series against the Knicks. And if you win that series, right now, I would probably rather play Boston than Cleveland based on the fact that Boston plays with their food. And, if Boston is flat-footed, Detroit could easily just pounce on them.
Yeah.
So it's I'm not saying they're going to get to the conference finals, but there's a situation where I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. It's just a crazy 180 we're seeing from this team. It's insane.
I wish the NBA had an all or nothing, and it was the Pistons for this year because we would love watching that, but they don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, they're out of the play-in. They surpassed what I had, I think, in the preseason. They could fall, but Miami, I think all those teams below them are still going to be playing teams. They're going to be cropping on that 4, 5, 6 spot to end the year.
I think they can move up.
They could, yeah.
It's a realistic scenario.
I don't think they'll reach the Knicks, though.
No, I don't think so. I think the Knicks are pretty much locked into third.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on this whole situation, G?
Oh, that means they're going to be playing Detroit. Interesting.
Who, Knicks?
Yeah.
I literally said that 5 minutes ago.
Anthony does not listen sometimes to and he just one out for the other. I'm just focused on my own thing.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on Detroit, Gio?
I think every single year we have that one team that just completely surprises us, That one team that goes from being a bottom tier team to being a playoff team. I feel like that happens every year.
Yeah.
And so this year that is the Pistons. So congratulations to them. Congratulations on JB Bickerstaff actually being better than mediocre for some time in his career. Honestly, congratulations to him. We can clap for him actually.
Yeah, clap it up for the lad.
Good job, JB. Keep it up. Yeah, I mean, this is just pure, unadulterated, undefiled basketball that we're seeing from the Detroit Pistons, and it's honestly beautiful to watch. I love watching Cade cook. I love watching Ivy before he got injured. I love watching Sir Thompson. Like, this is just good basketball to watch. They're young. They love the sport. They love the game. They're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And when you see guys that are having fun, it just makes it that much more fun to watch.
Exactly.
So,
I love seeing. I think Detroit has the best old fan culture.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of the older fans with like the Ben Wallace jerseys, and the Rip Hamilton, like it's great to see.
Yeah.
And even some of the old schoolers with the Dumars and the ITs.
Yeah.
So it's always good. It's always good for that. And like you said, when Detroit's doing well, the NBA is thriving.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is now the start of the NBA being good again. And, every time Detroit's good, generational talents come about, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Michael Jordan came about when the Pistons were good with IT and Dumars. Then it was in 2004. LeBron was in his first season. And then, look at now. Wemby, Cooper, Flag, AJ DeBanston, back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So, crazy coincidences. And, one final tidbit. In this 8-game winning streak, the Pistons were 5th in offense and they were 1st in defense. That's insane.
Wow. Okay.
Who do you think is
Detroit
really
Pistons.
what's the reason? Why is their defense so good? Who's that guy?
Sar Thompson.
Yeah, it's literally the top.
I think we can agree on that.
All the hype's been around men because Asar Thompson had the blood clot, but he's
Right.
back now, and he's just as good as his brother. Like
They're so even.
They really are.
Like they're the same.
I think Amen's the better scorer, but also can
You can't really say that yet.
easily improve.
they're both insane defenders. They both cannot shoot to save the life of them.
Yeah.
Well,
But
men's
they're-
not bad.
Well, they're not good. Like they're mediocre 3-point
Yeah.
threes. They're shooting in the 20s, but in the dunker spot, both of them can thrive.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
They remind me of a more developed Peyton Watson.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I see.
Man, can he get healthy, man?
He's coming back, so
Yeah.
he'll be good.
Good.
So yeah, that's kind of the main gist with Detroit. I think we'll close this segment off.
Yeah.
Ceiling. What do we see? How far do you think they can get?
Semis.
Second round?
So
Yeah.
second.
That's the
I think it's
ceiling. I don't think
realistic.
it's going to happen. I think that's their ceiling.
I think Boston would need to be unhealthy for them to reach the conference finals, which is possible. They're not healthy right now.
Yeah.
They're without Holiday and Porzingis for some time. So we'll see. But, I don't know how a Jalen Duren-led defense is going to really come about in the playoffs. That's my only question mark regarding them. So we'll have to see when the time comes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wish Detroit the best of luck moving forward. No matter, they could get swept in the first round and it's still a successful season because, they exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on that note, let's move into the next segment. Right. So it's the next day. This is a bit of a time travel themed episode. We weren't expecting for this to happen, but we had some breaking news drop this morning that Kyrie Irving, who left early in last night's game, unfortunately was diagnosed with a torn left ACL and will miss the remainder of the season and most likely all of next season as well. Shams reported it this morning at like around 10 a.m. ish. I literally woke up right to it. Literally, as soon as I got out of bed, I opened Twitter and it said 8 seconds ago that he tweeted it. And I'm just like, damn. Because it didn't
Yeah.
look like a torn ACL because the knee buckled backwards and that's usually a hyperextension.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it is a torn ACL. Just really super unfortunate for not only Kyrie, but just for Mavs fans in general. I'll put 2 tweets up on the screen. This is from StatMuse that was tweeted just a little bit after the report, saying Dallas Mavericks since Christmas. Luka Doncic gets hurt. Derek Lively out indefinitely. Trade away Luka Doncic. Daniel Gafford out indefinitely. Anthony Davis out indefinitely. Kyrie Irving tears ACL. Season from hell. So that's the first one I saw. And then the next one's even more interesting considering like previous moves and all that stuff. This one's from Underdog. Shout out Underdog. So the Dallas Mavericks in 2025. Derek Lively suffers a stress ankle fracture. Luka Doncic traded. Anthony Davis suffered strained adductor. Daniel Gafford sprains his MCL. Quentin Grimes scores 44 points. Jalen Brunson named Player of the Week. Lakers move up to the 2 seed. The Mavs announce an 8% increase in season ticket prices, and Kyrie Irving tears his ACL.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Historically bad.
Don't forget about Caleb Martin as well. He's been out ever since they acquired him.
they traded Quentin Grimes for that, man, along
Yeah.
with their last second-round pick. They have no control of any of their first-round picks until 2031. This is disastrous for the Dallas Mavericks. Before we get to the elephant in the room being the incompetent dweeb they have in their front office, what are y'all's thoughts on this?
Listen, I'm a big believer in karma, and also that when something happens in sports, whether it's in football, basketball, baseball, soccer, we always talk about like the gods of the sport, like the basketball gods, that they will come back for you after because they know you've done wrong. I think this is a prime example of them, but instead of, Nico Harrison getting fired, instead the players are getting the brunt of the situation that he got themselves into. So this is the basketball gods simply just ruining Nico Harrison and the team itself, which I don't think the team deserves it more than Nico Harrison himself. But this is what happens, I think. I think it's just kind of God, Gio, as we always say. But it's unfortunate. Like, I was watching the video, and he hit his right knee with Jonas Valanciunas' right knee, and that led him to completely transfer all of his weight to his left leg. Yeah. And that's how the ACL happened. So it wasn't non-contact. It was just little contact.
It was non-contact.
You could say little contact.
I wouldn't say it was non-contact.
I think it was little contact.
I think it was contact.
Well, it was contact that led to the injury, but the knee tearing was non-contact.
Correct.
Yeah. He didn't collide with anyone.
Yeah, and then Kyrie also went on IG Live today and spoke for I think like 10 minutes about how he started recovery and he's in good spirits, and we know he always is very vocal on social media. But they're missing. AD could be out for the year. I saw today as well. Kyrie's out for the year. Max Christie's going to be out right here a few weeks, and then of course we know Lively, Gaff, and
everyone else pretty much.
Everyone else.
Even I think Jaden Hardy got hurt in that game too.
Yes, Jaden Hardy as well. I saw today too.
I think he's out indefinitely.
So you're looking at a Klay Thompson-led Mavs team with Najee Marshall and PJ.
Wow.
And
how do you feel, Gio, if you're Klay Thompson? Because the reason why you signed in Dallas was to play with Luka Doncic. Your other option, LeBron James, was trying to recruit him to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And now both of them united together on the Lakers.
And he doesn't have an opt-out, does he?
No, he's not. So Klay's stuck there.
How long?
I think
2-year deal or
3-year deal. 3 years, $60 million, something like that.
That's
maybe a little bit more.
Unfortunate for him.
I could see him getting traded because of the Luka thing or requesting out in the offseason. Who knows?
He won't do that. I think he'll stay because this team does, when they're all healthy on the floor, they can compete. It's just a matter of what happens now, because we all know when Anthony Davis comes back, when he's healthy, he's going to be really good for this team because, he's not playing under the Akron Asylum anymore, so he can take a lot more shots. Kyrie, he's probably going to miss the entirety of next season. And, he's smaller. He's 32 years old. He might never be the same again. And that's what really sucks about this.
Yeah.
And outside of that, what do you do? I mean, do the Mavs even try and trade for Kevin Durant now in the offseason? Like, what do they do from here? It's so difficult.
I would think that's still on the table because I'm assuming Kyrie's going to opt into that player option because no one else would sign him because he's out for a long time.
There could be a team that's willing to give him a contract. I mean, we did a sign and trade for Kevin Durant when he had a torn Achilles. So he does have value. It's just a matter of does he want to take the safe option? Because he was up for a max contract at the end of the season. Now he can't get it anymore. So it's super unfortunate.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the man of the hour, Nico freaking Harrison. I don't like this guy. He really just annoys me. His ego has completely destroyed the Dallas Mavericks franchise. And Gio, I've never seen a team go from contender to poverty that quick. So what's your thoughts on just this whole situation regarding Dallas and Nico Harrison?
Yeah, man, I feel like I think we've said it enough. I mean, Nico Harrison, time and time again, day after day, every single day proves another reason as to why this was just a terrible, terrible decision that he made. So I think we've said it enough times, and hopefully this is the last time we talk about Nico Harrison because honestly, I'm tired of talking about him.
Yeah, real.
Yeah, so that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think once he leaves Dallas, it'll probably be over.
Yeah.
But when we talk about him, but listen, it's just going to be, a really just rough time for Dallas going forward. We'll see when the offseason comes around. And that's really it. Right now, it's kind of just play who you have right now in that team and see if you can get the best out of some young guys that they have.
Yeah.
And
they need to tank this season. They have their first round pick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. If, the lottery gods can give you whatever here.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they would get something better in return for Luka. Because if you're gonna trade Luka, you got to get a lot of
That's
return.
exactly the problem.
Yeah.
They didn't really get much at
They
all.
didn't get anything.
So
Because Nico
that's the
Harrison,
biggest issue I have with it.
Nico Harrison didn't see the value of Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
He saw the value of Anthony Davis and thought that was enough.
Yeah.
When, if let's say he did a bidding war for Luka, right? If let's say he went OKC, San Antonio, and Brooklyn have the most draft picks throughout like the next half decade, at least 5 or 6 picks would have been on the table because it would have been 4 or 5 of their own plus someone else's. And it would have been a no-brainer for Dallas. They could have been set for life with all this, these generational talents. They could have shipped out everyone else. So, it is what it is. And we did see Luka did post on his IG story both last night and this morning reacting to the Kyrie news, hoping he gets better and all that stuff. So, just
I
super
think Kyrie
unfortunate.
will be fine.
He'll be okay.
I think because these days most players they bounce back decently well.
Yeah.
So oftentimes they're not better than they were before, but I think Kyrie's the type of guy who's going to be better.
Usually it's the first season they come back, they're good. We saw that with Clay. We saw that with Jamal Murray.
KD.
We saw that with Kevin Durant's still amazing. He's kind of an anomaly in that regard. But yeah, we wish we wish a speedy recovery to Kyrie, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have any sort of final thoughts regarding this?
No, I'm tired of injuries, but
This is one of the worst ones we've seen in a while.
it's a big year for that. So we'll see next year if anything improves with just like any conditioning, any type of just guys that are not out every other week with a knee sprain or something.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Kyrie for making the free throws.
Yeah. I was gonna,
Yes.
That was
exactly.
powerful. He was in tears at the free throw line. I wanted to cry just watching it.
It's crazy. He said thank you God during his free throws, and I was like, interesting perspective. I like it though.
Yeah.
Kyrie's very spiritual.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I miss him
He
so
is.
much on the Nets.
Yeah.
I really wish things worked
Imagine
out.
tearing your ACL, shooting free throws, and saying thank you God.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have some serious different mindset to be doing that. So a lot of respect to him.
So we actually forgot to do this in the episode we recorded yesterday. So we're going to send you back to the main part of the episode. We have one question for every NBA team. And we just did the main teams, like the top 20, 21 teams. So you'll kind of get a sense on what we think these teams need to do later this season in the playoffs or even in the offseason. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So yeah, Antoine, let's get into your first team.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
Do you want? It is Phoenix.
Yeah, obviously. So we're stepping into that.
We'll remove the one player that we just spoke about, but obviously we know KD right now is not the best fit on this team right now. That's why the trade is happening. But let's talk about the 2 other players that are the notable ones. So, KD is going to go, but are Booker and Beal still the right fits for this team, including the draft haul and players they get back for KD? Obviously, I think Booker is the least amount that'll get traded. I think they want to keep Booker around, so Beal would have to go.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest thing. But if they do keep Beal and hopefully Booker as well, are these guys still the right fits for whoever they get in a KD return?
Here's what I think. I think you keep Beal.
Hey,
why are you laughing already?
And trade Booker.
Yeah, no,
That's literally what he was
This
gonna
is
say.
what I'm gonna say.
That's nasty
This
work.
is nasty
Sorry.
work.
It's so awful.
But I think the Suns need a freaking rebuild. Trade KD, get what you can out of him. Trade Book, get what you can out of him. You can get a lot from those
you'll
two
get a
guys.
you'll get a lot
You
from
can get a
Booker.
ton.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Now keep Beal, trade those 2, and see what happens. Because you're not winning. I don't care. You're not winning.
That's
you're done.
true.
I say just completely restart it. Booker, I don't know if he wants to stay. Maybe he wants to stay in Phoenix.
He does.
Okay, so that's where it becomes
Yeah.
tricky.
Booker-
he wants to stay.
Well, here's the thing, right? Booker wants to be a Sun for life. Then again, so did Mikal Bridges. But again, Mikal Bridges is nowhere near the level of Booker. So I don't know what Phoenix wants to do. And if you're Matt Ishbia, you've already fucked up with the KD trade to start with. And you've just seen the negative PR that Nico Harrison's getting. I don't think he would necessarily want to trade Devin Booker right now. I think he would have to request out.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so
Well, if I'm Booker, I don't want to stay in Phoenix.
right.
Are you kidding me?
I probably would want to stay, to be
You
honest.
would?
Well, think about it this way, right? You're in one of the warmest climates in the United States. You live in a ridiculous mansion. You're making gazillions of dollars. You're settled.
You
You're
can do that
chilling.
anywhere else.
Right, but you have to pack up and move all your stuff and you're uprooting your whole family and everything like that. So
Yeah,
it's
Phoenix.
a tougher move.
Phoenix is in like the city as well. He's in a nice little rural suburban area.
It's a
Does he have a family? I'm sorry, I don't know. Devin Booker's.
I don't
private
know
life.
specifically.
I don't think he's married and has
No.
I
kids.
don't, well, you know what I mean. Like his whole life, I don't know if his parents are with him or like in the area or not either. But
Yeah.
why would you want to uproot your life? You're chilling. You probably invested millions and millions of dollars into the house you're in and everything like that.
Maybe he's not even in a house.
No, he is. They did like
Okay.
it wasn't like like the MTV Cribs thing. They did
Yes.
something similar
Okay.
with Booker's place.
Well, I'm sorry. He can quickly and easily sell that place. I know
Right.
that.
But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, would you rather live in Phoenix or would you rather live in like, I don't know, where it's like a cold place, like Portland, for example?
Oh, hell no.
Exactly. Like
Not Portland.
Right.
But I mean, and there's plenty of other nice warm places in the
There are.
NBA to live in.
Right.
And Phoenix is hot.
Phoenix is great.
Phoenix is hot.
It's a great place.
Phoenix is 114 degrees year round. No, thank you.
That's true.
That's what I think.
But
Pretty sure Devin Booker also grew up in the north, so he's used to
yeah,
the cold.
I went to Kentucky for school. Yeah. It's cold during the winter.
Yeah.
So your question was,
Are Beal and Booker the right fits?
Booker is Bradley Beal? No. No. Look, Beal is a very tricky situation because of the no trade clause. If he didn't have it, he would have been shipped out way, way longer ago. So long ago. English is difficult. But I don't know what Phoenix does from here, to be honest. Like, I really don't know what they should do. Right? You're going to trade KD because you can't trade Beal, so KD has to go. And then you're going to keep Booker. Hopefully Bradley Beal accepts a trade somewhere that a team wants him. And you just kind of move from there because Beal and Booker do the same thing. And, depending on what you get in return for some of these trades is going to be the same thing. Like if you make a trade with Houston, you're getting back Jalen Green. He does the same thing as Devin Booker. So if you trade him to, I don't know, if you trade him to Dallas, you're probably getting back a couple guards, maybe some forwards. Like, I don't know what it would look like. So they need to figure out a way to get Beal out of there as well. I think they should keep Booker.
What are they going to get for Beal?
You
Might
don't,
as well let him play another season, get his value up and then trade him,
right, but if Beal's playing well, then more likely the Suns are doing well, and then Beal won't want to leave.
It's not necessarily the case. Beal and the Wizards, he was playing outstanding. The Wizards were not good.
He also wanted to stay in Washington. He didn't want to get traded.
Yeah.
So he decided he wanted to get moved in the offseason. But right now, Bradley Beal still has 2 more years left on this contract.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to take that on right now.
Right.
So you have to figure out something. And it's a dead asset. They're going to be stuck with him probably until the year after, and he's either going to get traded or bought out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's why I predict they trade Booker, they trade KD.
All right.
okay. That's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
So not a bad question.
Who's up?
So all right, I'll get into my first team. Since we already talked about them, we'll talk about the Detroit Pistons once again.
Oh, my God.
So this is more so about their play on the floor rather than just, the way their season's going. Because obviously we all know how well they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Cade Cunningham take an absolute just skyrocket launch into stardom. I think it's only up from here. Obviously any team like this, the roster's flawed in some way, shape, or form. There's weak points everywhere like this. I've mentioned, Jalen Duren's defense is not particularly great. His rim protection's good, but his interior perimeter is not, it leaves a lot to be desired. My question's more on the offensive end, because I think this is going to be a real problem in the playoffs, is that they really don't have a secondary playmaker. And to me, I think you need to kind of take a little bit of the offensive load pause off of Cade Cunningham, especially in those playoff moments. You traded for Dennis Schroeder, who I think could fit alongside Cade well. They've only played 40 minutes together. But when they're on the floor together, they have 131 offensive rating. So my question is, who do you think the Pistons secondary playmaker could be? And the follow-up to that would be, how can you make Dennis Schroeder fit? Because that's been the one problem since he's gotten there, is finding the right fit for him.
That's a JB Bickerstaff type question right there, my friend. And unfortunately, I am not him.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you say?
I mean, I think the secondary playmaker was Jaden Ivey. Unfortunately, he's not there for the season because he's injured. So I think if you're taking the third playmaker coming up to second, it's probably Tobias Harris. To be honest with you,
Playmaker?
No, it's not what his job is. His
And
job
then-
is to space the floor in the corner and play post defense.
Playmaker.
I don't know. Well, like you said, Duran's not going to be at a SAR. It's probably Schroeder then.
It could be a SAR.
I think it could be.
Could
I
be.
don't know. I think Schroeder because more of the veteran guy. I'm thinking of like Germany, Schroeder and how good he is with them.
Yeah.
But Ivy unfortunately is out, so I think Schroeder definitely is the guy to step
Yeah.
up. And you probably have to.
Naturally.
I mean, he's playing as off the bench right now because Hardaway is starting at the 2.
They swapped him. Hardaway's been
swapped
coming
him?
off the bench now, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess you just have to incorporate Schroeder more in the starting 5. I think Schroeder's best ability is probably creating open looks,
Yeah.
passing.
Definitely.
And
Hockey assists.
Cade is probably the one that's going to drive more. He's the bigger body type, will shoot the ball. So definitely Schroeder getting involved with just, I guess, facilitating the plays.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
think Cade could be the one finishing the plays.
Interesting. So you're saying Cade moved to a shooting guard position?
no.
Is
I
that,
know.
is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
Just Cade is finishing the plays. Dennis is the one finding Cade and the others for the plays and so on and so forth.
Okay. I mean, what I'm hearing though is Cade is more of the scoring guard, and Schroeder's more of the, facilitating guard.
Right.
And that would mean.
That doesn't mean their roles are.
But wouldn't that mean your scoring guard, your shooting guard, right?
Well, I mean, Cade's,
the one that's-
Cade's third in the league in assists per game.
Right.
So
But
he's
would-
definitely a pass.
What I'm
first
saying is,
guard.
would he be more effective, and would the team be better if Cade shifted to the shooting guard? Had Dennis Schroeder play that facilitating role, would this team be better?
I think Cade still needs to be the point
He
guard.
needs to be that point
Exactly.
He's
guard.
the prime. That's why I said they need a secondary playmaker.
Gotcha.
Cade
Yeah,
cannot be the
exactly.
secondary.
Got it.
So I think right now, I mean, we've seen the numbers. Like I know we have a small sample size, but when Cade and Schroeder share the floor, their offense is clicking.
Yeah.
And Schroeder on the other end also provides some good perimeter defense as well.
When they share the floor, who's that facilitator?
It's really Cade.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why you need more playmaking because Dennis Schroeder's just chucking up a lot of threes, and I have almost a full season of him in Brooklyn to know that he does a lot more than that.
Right.
And Brooklyn Dennis Schroeder can really elevate this Pistons
Yes.
offense.
Hell
I
of a
think
player.
That's what they really need to do going forward. Because it works, and especially when Cade's off the floor, because what wins you championships is your non-star minutes. We saw in 2023 the Nuggets cooked without Jokic on the floor. It was a miracle, considering they spent most of the season as a net negative without him. That's where you really saw the rise of Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Christian Brown in his rookie season. What's going to happen when Cade's off the floor? Who's going to be that guy? Because the Nuggets had that luxury of Jamal Murray being able to stagger the minutes. Boston was able to stagger the minutes with Tatum and Brown. What's Detroit going to do if they're let's say you're in a series against the Knicks, right? And Cade's off the floor, let's say first 5 minutes of the second quarter, right? Is Dennis Schroeder going to be the guy leading the offense? Is Asar Thompson going to step up? Who's going to be that guy? We don't know.
I think it needs to be Schroeder.
I think it has to be. I think the veteran presence of him specifically is going to carry them far.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Agreed.
yeah, that's kind of the gist of that. Do we have any final thoughts? All right, Gio, let's get into your first team. Who we got?
Yeah. So my first team here is the Orlando Magic.
Ooh, okay.
So the question is, who is the future of this franchise? Is it Paolo? Is it Franz? And what roles will they play? And how successful can they be together?
That's a really good question, to be honest with you. That's a really good question.
What do we think?
I'll let you answer that first, Antoine.
So, who is the future of this?
Franchise. Is it Paolo? Is it Franz? And what roles will they play together if they stay together? And how successful can they be together?
Oh, so I have to choose one. I can't say both.
Well, you can have a 1A, 1B, but who's the 1A? You know what I mean?
1A is going to be Paolo.
Okay.
1B is France because 1A Paolo is the number 1 overall pick. You have a lot of more. You want to have more, I guess, expectations out of the lottery pick. France, of course, was in the lottery, but not number 1. And they are I don't want to say they are working together very well. They're having just an injury-riddled season. We know Suggs is out now. They just came back from their injuries, and they're in the play-in, but they were looking a lot better in the beginning when one of them was injured. Franz was better with Paolo off the court, and Paolo was a little better with Franz off the court. Well, Paolo got injured first, so Franz was better.
Yeah.
Not Paolo. And then how they work together.
Yeah.
You need a point guard.
Okay.
That's the big thing we've been saying for the longest time.
So are you saying neither of them can facilitate an offense? Neither of them can handle
I think
the ball?
Well, Paolo is going to rebound. He's going to finish down low. Franz is going to be the shooter, like he always is. Franz can drive. Franz can finish.
I think Franz has a little bit of creativity, a little bit of,
I think that's
facilitator-ish
He-
to him.
He does, but like, look, obviously the offense has been bad all year, but look how much worse it's gotten since Jalen Suggs got hurt.
Yeah.
And he's out for pretty much the rest of the season. He's
Yeah.
having knee surgery.
Yeah.
So, to me,
They
like
need-
He's not the main facilitator, but I think he has a little touch of Luka in him.
right now,
I feel like.
Jalen Suggs is pretty much your main facilitator. It's
Yeah.
kind of flipping between him or Cole Anthony whenever he gets the spot minutes. But
if they get Trey or who's another guy?
Ja Morant.
And that'll elevate both of their games so much because you have two rising stars that are the best in the league on your
Yeah.
team.
yeah,
Your assist number is just going to go up and like significantly, and you're still going to score, but you're going to be a lot better at your playmaking, and you're going to be more of a team player. So Trey's definitely going to lose a lot of scoring probably, but would still put up his numbers respectively.
Right.
And Ja, same thing.
Okay.
right. Repeat
Tyler,
the
what do you
question
think?
again for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because it was a layered question.
The question is, it's multiple questions in the question. It says,
Yeah.
who is the future of the franchise? Is it Paolo? Is it Franz? Okay.
Yeah.
What roles will they play in the future, and how successful can they be if they stay together?
Okay, well, Paulo's the future of the franchise. We
Gotcha.
know this. As great as Franz has been, Paulo will find it. I'm confident of that. As the second part was
How they work
What
together.
roles will they play
what
together?
roles?
Yeah.
Paulo's,
And how successful?
Paulo's going to be your one, and Franz is going to be your two. I see. Kind of reminds me of Tatum and Brown, except there's a bit more separation between, as far as the gap between 1 and 2 rather than 1A, 1B.
It's a good comparison.
And they won't work together unless they have a competent playmaker. That's really the gist of it. If you don't have a point guard, that offense is still going to be ass. And that's pretty much what it is because Jalen Suggs is not a natural playmaker. Cole Anthony's just not good enough. And if the Magic really want to be serious about competing for a championship, they need to have a point guard. So I say go get Trae Young in the summer
Right.
because you can't mess this opportunity up. The fact that the Spurs did not go get him, he's still there.
Yeah.
Go get him. And that's really all I can say regarding the Magic because their offense is holding them back so much.
Right.
Because if you roll out a lineup of Trae Young, Jalen Suggs, Franz Paolo, Wendell Carter, Goga, whoever is at center, that's a good lineup.
It's a good
You just
lineup.
need a point guard.
Very true.
So,
Okay.
yeah, not
like
bad
that.
at all.
Got it.
All right, Antoine, let's get into your
Oh.
second team. What do we got?
Can I choose whoever?
Yeah, random order.
Oh. Okay, I'll piggyback off the Orlando talk. When I go to the Hawks. So I think the biggest question with them is, of course, they got the lottery pick this past year with Zachary. Tyson Daniels looks rejuvenated. Jalen Johnson looked good before his injury. And, of course, Trey is doing Trey things. But they moved off DeAndre Hunter, and they moved off of Bogdan. Two guys off their bench that were pretty good, more so DeAndre Hunter than Bogdan. But they depleted their pretty good players, of course, with those trades. So I guess the main question, I think, is what we were just talking about, is Atlanta's long-term plan enough to convince Trae Young to stay? So the long-term plan is probably, of course, Zachary, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels. That's probably the core they're going to run with Trey. And you probably improve at center, but Okongwu's been pretty good. But your starting lineup's kind of set for the future with Trey. That's kind of the main gist. Is that long-term solution they have right there, plan.
Is that
convince
enough
him
to convince Trae Young?
Convince-
to stay?
I don't think Trey wants to leave,
Okay.
but I think he might have to. Like I think Atlanta might be trying to pull a Portland here of trying to get him to request out. Because we knew that Portland, if they didn't get Wemby, Dame was gone. Like we knew that was going to happen. And it lined up perfectly where Scoot was in a position to be picked by them. Atlanta easily could have gotten their pick back from San Antonio, but they didn't. which leads me to believe that maybe they're trying to rebuild because Zachary Sachet is good, but he's not going to be a one option.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson has just got a lot of injury problems. This team really doesn't have it's a pretty bleak future. I don't trust them long term. And I think if Trey really wants to compete for a championship, he may have to move on. So I think in short, I think the answer is probably yes, though I do think he's going to wind up staying. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum with that one, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to leave either, but I think he's going to end up leaving.
Right.
Because, I think Trae Young he's probably a loyal guy. He probably loves Atlanta, the city, the people, the fans, the franchise. But at the end of the day, players these days, they do what they need to do to have the best careers that they can have, to have the best opportunity to win. And so I think that Trae Young is not exempt from that mindset.
That's fair.
So I think Trae Young is going to end up leaving to try to have the best opportunity for him to win, for him to, be a better player or have a better career. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything that the Hawks can do. And I don't even know if the Hawks want to keep Trae Young. So I don't know if they want to keep him, and I don't think if they wanted to keep him, I don't think they can do anything that could convince him to stay. So
You have no faith in Landry Fields, my Knick legend.
no faith in him. Not even when he played.
He didn't have a good deadline at all. He didn't have a. He didn't.
Stop
have a,
hating on Landry.
And unfortunately, look, I like Zachary Sachet, but Alex Sarr is going to be the better player.
Yes.
So
right now, it's looking like they got the
It
worst
is.
pick.
I don't have faith in Landry Fields. I do. Eventually, Trae Young will be in a different uniform.
Yeah.
Who that might be, I have no freaking clue.
Yeah.
All right. I agree with both your consensuses. I think it goes either way. It depends on how this team goes next year.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
think
they'll
that's
even
the
be on
best-
the team.
Yeah,
next
we don't
year.
know.
It's an
I
if.
don't know. It's an if. Big what if.
So, because the Hawks don't have a draft pick.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to have to trade someone to get it. I don't know what it would entail, but we'll just have to wait and find out. So, do we have any sort of final thoughts regarding the Atlanta Hawks?
No.
All right, let me get into my next team. We'll kind of just get the rest of these. Do you want me to just get the rest of the cruddy teams out of the way?
Sure.
All right, let's talk about the Miami Heat. This team it's really just mid, man. It's just like they have good pieces, right? You have Tyler Hero, great. Bam Adebayo, great. Khalil Ware, ton of upside. Andrew Wiggins, Then you got, a bunch of other just like questionable pieces surrounding this team.
Randoms.
So my question is, not necessarily team related, is it finally time for Pat Riley to call it quits and hand the team over to someone else?
100%. There is no easier answer to that. I think with the whole Jimmy thing, of course it ended very well, but they probably could have gotten a much better haul if they got that trade off a little more earlier in the season or even last season when he said he wasn't going to resign prior to his contract ending this year. That was Pat Riley's decision. Unfortunately, he got the Warriors haul, and that's kind of it. But yeah, Pat needs to you don't need to be working when you're that old. Enjoy life.
How old is he?
He's in his 70s. Just enjoy life.
I'm going to look it up right now. How old is my guy?
He has so much money and wealth.
I say keep working, man. Don't retire.
He's 79.
Oh my God, no.
What's
please.
wrong with that?
No.
What's wrong with a guy who's working until he's 79? I think that's actually awesome.
If that man falls in the arena one day,
Why is that a scenario?
Yeah.
then that is it. Pat Riley, I don't hope, God forbid. I'm just saying.
That is wild.
Listen, a guy that's working till he's 79, I think that's pretty admirable.
Oh, absolutely.
It is, but
That shows that he still has that ambition, that passion in him at that age. That's impressive.
Yeah. And just and it doesn't have to necessarily be him retiring. It could just be him stepping down to a lesser position.
Yeah. Okay.
just be like an advisor.
Yeah.
Hand it over to somebody.
What do you think?
What I think is
I'm also there's a follow-up question to this.
Okay.
Spo included.
Oh hell
No,
no.
Spo stays. No.
Well-
100%.
I don't know, man.
I mean, this roster really has not been very good.
No, but
Like-
I don't think Spo leaves.
Well, Spo might want to leave because his roster's not it. But now, at the end of the day, I think hell no. I was about to call him Phil Jackson. That's crazy. Pat Riley should absolutely not hang it up. I think he should stay. I think he should continue to do what he's doing. I don't think he's doing necessarily a bad job. I mean, he got bad publicity because of the whole Jimmy Butler situation.
Yeah.
But then again, if you look at the history, Jimmy Butler has had bad situations everywhere he's been. So I don't know if I would put that on 100%, not 100% on Pat Riley. Maybe a portion of it. You know,
Problem is the way Pat Riley handled the situation. He handled it way too emotionally, and that was, I think, what blew everything out of proportion.
Understand that completely, but still, I think Pat Riley still has some gas left in the tank, and I would say why stop now? Keep going.
It's fair. All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
And same thing with Spo.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Spo can't
Keep
leave.
Spo at all costs.
Yes.
But I think it's time for Pat Riley to step down.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it is.
Fair.
Come on.
I think this team hasn't been because look, this team's made 2 finals, but they were low seeds. They got 1 top seed in the past like however many years. So
He had his time, and that was his LeBron time.
no, he got the 1 seed once with Jimmy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all right, so yeah, it's the story of the Miami Heat. Let's get into the next team. Gia, what do you got?
Oh, I'm up.
What do you have? Give
What
us
I have-
a cruddy team.
Crud team.
I go for a good team. We haven't had a
Okay,
good team
go
in a
for it,
while.
All right, let's go for the.
I have all the good.
Let's go for the Knicks. Why not?
Okay.
Oh yes.
So we're sticking with the cruddy teams. Got it.
no crud.
So the question is, so the Knicks have a top offense and a bottom defense,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you for reminding me.
So what? The simple question is, what does that say about coaching, and what does that say about the players? So the coach, I'll let you guys take the question however you want it.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
That
Let the
is
Knicks fan go first.
So, what does it say about the coaching?
Yeah. So they have a top offense, bottom defense.
And this is supposedly a defensive-minded coach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Break it down, Tyler.
You're
Yeah.
kind of contradicting the question itself.
I think this is going to result in Tom Thibodeau losing his job in the summer.
Interesting.
And
So-
you know what? This could also realistically spell the end for Leon Rose as well.
So yeah, I was watching another Knicks video, not Knicks, but basketball video this year, and if they Knicks crash out in the second round again with the high-powered offense, I think Tibbs is gone. Because if they give up 100 plus, 120 plus in every single game, he's gone. Like, I know Cat's phenomenal, and he boosted his reputation so much this year because of his offense. But Mitchell Robinson is still not 100%. You can't rely on that guy too much. OG just came back. We'll see. But I think Tibbs is just letting these guys go out and play. I don't know who's I guess I know they have the assistants, but I don't know who's preaching defense a lot on that team besides, I guess, Tibbs. I guess, quote unquote, preaching defense. Maybe not.
He's supposed to be that guy.
And then
Supposed to,
the
but-
players, I mean, they have to defend. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
They can't just let them run by a net and score.
It seems like they're doing though.
Yeah, it
Why?
is. I think that kind of has to do with the new era of the players we have, the young generation like Brunson, McHale. They just don't see defense as like the old guys did, like we grew up with. I think that's kind of the mentality of the new players.
I think it might be,
Which is it's I don't know. It's a little. They should, but they are playing defense. OG is there, you know.
Right.
McHale plays some defense,
I mean, they're playing defense, but it's just not
good defense.
Right.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because this Knicks team completely lost their identity through the offseason. I mean, you had this Knicks team last year was tough. They were gritty. They were diving for loose boards anywhere on the floor. The team was actually somewhat admirable as someone who's a Nets fan. And you trade 7 first-round picks for 2 of the softest players the NBA has to offer, and you lose that defensive punch. This team can't guard anyone. And to me, that's identity essentially makes your style of play. And the Knicks' identity is just trying to outscore the other team.
Yeah.
And that could maybe win you a round, but that's
Yeah.
why they're 0-7 versus the top 3 teams in the NBA. There's really no excuse for the way they're playing because this is not the same team we're seeing as last year. This team is soft. This team they have no grit. I'm not feared when I see the Knicks play. I see fear when the Celtics play, when the Cavs play, when the Thunder play. So that's different. But the Knicks, it's an identity problem. And Tom Thibodeau needs to go in the offseason. They need to bring someone in. Mike Brown is available. Bring in Mike Brown, or someone that has fire under their belly, someone with a chip on their shoulder, and wake this team up and try and get some better pieces defensively, because that's what wins you championships.
True.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I don't.
That answer.
His answer is very valid. We need defenders.
Follow-up question. Who would win, this year's Knicks team or last year's Knicks team?
What? Win what?
Who would win? Like if they played in a series.
Oh, this team.
Last year's.
You said last year's because of their
absolutely last
grittiness.
I don't know.
More so for the fact that, remember, we have not seen this year's Knicks team play in the playoffs, which means we have not seen Cat foul out of games yet. So that's the only reason why I'm basing that off of it. And, that's kind of just what it is. I trust that. I trust last year's Knicks team
I think
more.
I'm sticking by this year's team.
Because of their offense.
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
I think this year.
All right.
So
All right.
we're about 35 minutes into this segment. Do you want to cut and then?
No, let's do one more round.
Okay, we'll do one more round.
Yeah, and we'll cut.
All right. So Antoine, what's your next team?
Ooh, okay. Since he brought up Mike Brown, let's go to Sacramento.
Go.
So I think the main question for this team relies not on the players as of right now. It relies on who is going to be the head coach and if Doug Christie gets the interim tag removed off of his name in the offseason. So the question is Doug Christie the right man to lead this team into their future, whatever their future entails?
No.
Okay, there's your answer, everybody.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I like Doug Christie. He's a good guy. But this team is a lost cause. I don't know if there's much he could necessarily do.
Yeah.
This team needs a humongous overhaul.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the Kings, to be honest.
I don't blame
They
you.
just completely lost all relevance to me. After, I mean,
This team could still
De'Aaron
make
Fox
the
is not
playoffs.
even there anymore, so it's like I don't even watch the Kings. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't.
It's just a bunch of stars, like Levine, DeMar,
Yeah.
DeMontis Sabonis, Malik.
Yeah. I mean, besides Sabonis, I like Sabonis a lot. But besides him, it's like I don't really care about
Like,
this team.
I refuse to take this team seriously until they play Keon Ellis actual minutes.
Yeah.
Like he contributes to winning, and he just keeps getting banished to the bench for no reason. So like,
Crazy.
either trade him or bring in someone that's going to play him.
How about we just like protest and not watch the Kings until Keon Ellis starts getting minutes?
So basically,
it.
just never watch the
Yeah,
Kings
let's
ever
do
again.
it. Let's do it.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I still do not think they should have fired Mike Brown. I still think that was a stupid decision.
Yeah,
I could have,
see.
I think you could have fired him in the offseason, but giving him as an excuse of losing 4 games in a row or however many games they lost, like he wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
No.
They have one of the worst front offices in the NBA, and it shows every year. And the fact that they made all that trade was just not it. So, what do you think,
Okay.
Gio?
About the whole Mike Brown situation?
Yeah,
I mean, I've stated my opinion before about this situation. You guys can go back and watch those previous videos. I'm not going to get into that now. But I would say I would agree with you, Tyler. I mean, they could have probably waited until the offseason to fire him
yeah.
because I didn't see them doing anything with Mike Brown or with De'Aaron Fox. Like, I didn't see this team going anywhere. So
Right.
I don't blame them for trying to redo or to overhaul the team, but just to do it in the way that they did it was kind of not the
Sleazy.
best. Yeah.
It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
So who do you have any like potential options as a new head coach? Any of you for the Kings? Does any name stick out in the book? Think of maybe even current coach that might get fired at the end of this season.
Oh
Tom Thibodeau.
no.
Bro, imagine Levine playing 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
He might fall apart. I'm trying to think of like who could be available, because all the coaches that I think will get fired this season are not good enough. Like even if Bud gets fired, I don't think Bud's would work in Sacramento at all.
Something like Chauncey Billups
I was thinking that, but then again, I feel like he's doing better now.
in Portland. Yeah.
They're gonna keep him.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think
It's very hard.
I
It's
think-
gonna be someone that's like on the come up.
I think
Oh,
if
Darvin Ham.
Oh, actually, you know what? That wouldn't be awful, but like, don't subject him to that bad roster.
I could see like James Borrego,
Sprago.
I think if Boston wins a title again, I think Sam Cassell might be the
Sam
best option.
Cassell, him too.
So
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe when they start interviewing guys, we'll probably choose our favorite.
That's
out of
true.
all
yeah.
of them.
We'll see what happens. Doug
Yeah.
Christie could get the job. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts regarding Sacktown? All right, let's get into my next team. I'm trying to decide what team I want to talk about next. Let's go for the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not going to lie, boys. This team is confusing me more and more every day because they're like a top 4 seed, then they're a 2 seed, then they're a 6 seed. They're just all over the place. They're playing very inconsistent basketball. And I keep having fights in my head of how they're going to do in the playoffs. Are they going to make a conference finals? Are they going to give OKC some trouble? Are they even going to get out of the first round? I don't know. We've already seen them lose in the first round as a 2 seed. And right now they currently sit 4th. I think they're a game behind Denver and the Lakers. And my question is not necessarily about Memphis. It's about one specific player, and it's their best player, Ja Morant. Can Ja Morant show up this postseason? And if he does, what is this team's ceiling?
It's a great question.
Oh, well, I hope he does because that is, of course, cinema for a lot of basketball fans. If he does show up and everybody is cohesive, that means Triple J's on his game, Ede's contributing, Jalen Wells, the bench. That is a team that probably goes conference finals and OKC stops them. I think that's the farthest they'll go.
Well, right now they would have to play a second-round series against OKC because they're the 4 seed. So they would play Houston in round 1.
That's right now, though.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's hoping they don't play OKC round 2.
Right.
Let's hope.
Okay.
But if they do, then that'll probably be a round 2 exit then as of now.
Right.
I mean, would you take them in a series over the Lakers or Nuggets right now?
I would.
I
Really?
would
Crazy take,
I
though.
would Lakers, not Nuggets.
I would Nuggets as well. I don't like the way the Nuggets are playing.
I wouldn't take them against either of them, to be honest with you.
Now listen, this is why I would take them because I do have faith that Ja Morant is going to be an outstanding postseason performer,
I mean, he has been.
and he has been in the
Yes.
past. I mean, I've seen him put up like 40 plus games straight. You know what I mean? Like this guy can do it.
He's great.
I really do have confidence that he's going to turn it up. I don't know why. I'm just getting that good old Geo gut feeling.
Yeah.
A lot of times I've been wrong lately, but it's okay. I'm getting that feeling that Ja's going to have one of those crazy postseason, years. So.
He really needs it. Like, he desperately needs it. Otherwise, I don't think he'll be in Memphis next season.
Yeah.
I think his Memphis future rides on this postseason, him showing up.
Okay. That's big.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're Memphis, if Ja puts
Pivotal.
up 16 points a game,
Yeah.
and you lose in the first round to the Warriors,
Yikes.
or not the Warriors, to the Rockets, right? Let's say that situation happens. Do you want Ja to be your future going forward? I think it would probably be within his best interest to even go too.
Well, what did the GM say? He said something like,
He's not
we're
leaving.
not moving Ja.
we said that about Kevin Durant. We traded him, so everything changes throughout the course of a season.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm iffy on their commitment to Ja Morant.
Okay.
Yeah. That's another one to watch. We'll see if they get eliminated fairly early. I could see that happening a lot more
Yeah.
with Ja.
It depends how they get eliminated. If Ja goes and drops like 30 plus every single game,
And they go down
they
hard.
go down in 7.
Pause.
Like then,
Yeah.
then you don't move Ja.
Right.
Course,
I want Ja to just go back to what we saw years prior.
and I think he
Oh, of
will.
course.
I
We haven't
really
seen that at
think
all.
He will, even though he hasn't had the best season this year.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna find it.
Okay.
I think
fair
he's
enough.
not 100% either. I think he's just a little injury from the knee surgery. I think next year will probably be the better season.
It was. It was.
Good point.
Wasn't it? It was just labrum. It was a shoulder.
Oh, it was? Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, I don't know why I said knee. Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, that's pretty fair.
Okay.
So, Gia, let's get into your next team before we cut this segment.
Yeah.
Who we got?
Let's talk about the Lakers.
Oh God.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
All right.
All right, so Tyler, you actually foreshadowed this in the beginning of the episode. I think in the intro.
Yep.
So the question is, how many years does LeBron James have left on the Lakers? And could we see, could we see an extended LeBron years because of Luka's arrival? That's the question.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay.
No.
What do you mean no?
I think still 2-year max.
That's
2-year
it?
max. That's it.
Why?
Well, because he's a free agent at the end of the year. So however long the contract is for this upcoming season, it's going to be the last contract for him, I think.
Okay.
That's what
So
I think.
2 years and he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he still has another year on his deal. I think he's going to resign.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
He's going to.
I think 2 more years.
Because what I see happening at the end of this season, I think LeBron's going to take slightly less than a max, and then the Wolves are probably going to trade Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and that's exactly what the Lakers are going to do.
Wow.
Just pick up Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
That's
Yeah, because
big.
they need more defense. Because
Yeah.
right now the way the Lakers are playing is because of their defense.
And they need a center.
Right, and they'll get a center too. And we can talk about our conspiracy theories of this trade being forced by the league.
We've already.
And
Trust me, I talked about that.
it looks very much like it looks more and more feasible as time goes on because LeBron just looks rejuvenated.
Yes.
It looked like he was even going to retire this year, let alone next year.
I
But-
think LeBron looks so much more happier.
well, yeah, he's got a
AD's
superstar.
gone and he's playing so much more better. And so is everybody else. DFS, Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent. Who else? Connect.
DFS has been
Reeves.
Yeah,
Reeves, yes. He's out
So-
though. He's out for a little bit.
But I'm saying he's been playing
Yeah.
great.
But still, yeah, the Lakers have a bright future, and
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate the Lakers.
Yeah.
Man. They don't deserve this.
It's
How do
so
they get
crazy.
lucky every time?
Yeah.
Someone just falls into their lap like this. So I don't like if they win a championship. I don't care how good LeBron or Luka plays. Give Nico Harrison the Finals MVP.
Yes.
So he single-handedly extended LeBron's career.
Yeah, man. Now I'm just so confused by LeBron, man. Like, cause you can watch him for half a season and he'll be like, just flat and old and ugly and
He might outlast Steph Curry.
insane,
Yeah.
He might
and then we
outlast DeMar.
crazy. Honestly, when
nuts.
DeMar got into the league, he was already like an MVP.
Exactly.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
I think LeBron's got 4 years left.
That's so much.
Okay.
I think LeBron just before the decade turns, I think he calls it quits.
Okay.
Okay.
It's March 3rd, and we're gonna write that down, Tyler. If you're right,
Yeah.
dinner on me.
That'll be a great 400th episode present.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
so
That's my question.
Okay.
all right, so yeah, so we
That's a good
record
one.
we record these in segments. That way, our stuff doesn't lag and stuff like that. So we're gonna cut here. It'll take like half a second, and let's get into the next batch of teams.
All right. So we're gonna get into Indiana.
Yes,
This
I like
is
that.
what I'm going to choose because I want to get this team off my list. So Indiana's having an interesting year. They're kind of off of their conference finals appearance last year. It's kind of been a little lackluster from Tyrese Halliburton and some injuries to their core guys, but they've been holding it down pretty well. Spicy P, of course, is holding it down majorly, I think. I think Tyrese is having a down year compared to last year. I don't know how these guys feel. We'll listen to it in a little bit. But the main question I have for them is that can they replicate their playoff success from last season, or was it just a 1-year fluke?
I would love to hear what Tyler has to say about this. But I guess I'll start.
You
though.
start,
Okay.
yeah.
That was a 1-year fluke.
Thank you. Bonkers.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
Tyrese, I think Tyrese is still a good player. Good player, not a great player.
Okay.
I think he had his best season last year. I don't know if he'll have a better season than that
Ever.
season.
I think
in his career.
y'all need
Hot
to,
take, right?
I think y'all need to key back into Halliburton. Since All-Star break, he's averaging 23 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals.
Okay, fine.
Since All-Star break, he has 69 assists and 6 turnovers.
Yo, how do you have the stats ready, bro?
Bro, because you gotta know.
How are you so ready? Did you write that down or you just
Yeah, I
know
did.
these?
Because the Pacers,
Yeah, I
you
did.
wrote it down.
How the hell? Okay, yeah.
But I saw a stat yesterday. He has 69 assists and 6 turnovers since All-Star break.
Okay, that's impressive.
insane.
How many games has he played?
I think 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's been not
He's
that
been
long
he's,
since All-Star.
he's been playing
7
he's been playing
games.
a lot better.
Fine.
He's finally starting to find his stride and find his groove.
3 quarters through the season.
The Pacers have quietly been one of the best teams since All-Star break. And
7
this
games.
But still, right? We saw the Warriors have an amazing stretch since All-Star break, and they've looked phenomenal. We think they're going to be a lot better. Indiana, same rules apply. Keep the same energy in this thing. So, yeah, I do not think this was a 1-year wonder. I think I think they're going to replicate this again. And I think
This year?
yes.
Wow.
I think they can. I mean, look at the competition they're going to have to play. Like you're going to play a banged up Boston in round one, not Boston, banged up Milwaukee most likely in round 1. I still don't trust Karl Kuzma in
Yes,
the
you do.
playoffs. No, I don't. Why would I trust him?
He's been playing well.
He has been, but at the end of the day, I just don't trust him specifically. It really just comes down to what are you going to get from Giannis and Dame. And right now, I still would favor Indiana just. And in the second round, you would have to play Cleveland. And I think I genuinely think whoever wins that series wins the whole thing.
You're saying the Pacers have a chance to knock off Cleveland?
I think they have a chance, yeah.
Even me, being the biggest Cleveland hater, knows that Cleveland will destroy the Pacers.
I don't think that happens. I think Cleveland wins.
They've beaten Cleveland this season, so it's possible.
That's one game.
I would still favor Cleveland right now, but I'm saying it would not surprise me.
Okay.
Because I also did pick Indiana to go to the finals.
You did.
I believe in this team.
Stand on business.
So
I love
standing on business. You have to.
Like me.
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of what it is. I think Indiana can easily replicate this.
Okay.
I think as long as Tyrese Halliburton, if he's playing like this, combined with the way Siakam's been playing, I think the ceiling's stupidly high for this team.
Okay.
And remember, this team was just they played 4 games in the conference finals. This team was about 8 to 10 minutes of locking in away from winning the NBA finals. So it's possible. It's realistic. And I think they definitely can.
You know what? To your point, they're playing good basketball when they need to.
Exactly.
So,
remember, they had a garbage defense last year, and they had one of the best defenses in the playoffs.
yeah,
So as long as Rick Carlisle can get these boys hooping, and if he can
at the right time.
if he can stop being so stubborn with his rotations, I think the ceiling's really high for Indiana.
Okay. Fair.
So
All right.
I like where they're headed. So any final thoughts regarding Indy?
No, sir.
All right. Let's get into my next team. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics, a team that is looking dangerous once again. Now, look, Boston is, I think they're the second favorite in the odds right now, behind OKC to win the championship. Now, the other thing with Boston is that, like I said earlier, they play with their food a lot. They don't take matchups seriously. They went down 3-0 to the Heat in 2023. They should have closed out Atlanta 2 years ago a lot quicker. Same thing with Philly. They don't get through series quick. I think Indiana was the first time they really did that. So my question is, how seriously do you think Boston will take their early round opponents? And do you think they can repeat as NBA champions?
Repeat? No. I think they're hungover from their championship. How serious are they going to take? Oh, I would hope it's serious so they don't get knocked out first round. I do think they would play that series a little laid back like they did earlier in the season and earlier last year. But it may bite them in the butt if they get down 2-0 or 3-1 or any other type of just down 3-2. And then they'll be in real trouble. So to answer that, no to repeating. And I think they probably would take their foot off the gas on the first round a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you're looking at a first round series right now, the winner between Miami and Orlando.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, Orlando taking the foot off is tough. They could easily give them a hard time.
they can't generate any offense.
Are you
I
kidding
would
me?
not be concerned if I was Boston.
I saw a couple days ago, Orlando lost by like 60 points. So I think it was the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Was it?
They got
It
40
was like
balls.
150 to like 90 or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because, that's the
Anyways.
thing. Like, Orlando could stop you on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But, what? They would have to win 90 to 80.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Not
happen.
gonna.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I actually picked the Celtics to repeat. So I think it's going to happen.
okay.
I think they're going to beat the Cavaliers and whoever else is in their way on the way to repeating.
Right now, it would be, like I said, the Heat or Magic. Then you'd be looking at a second round series between the winner of the Knicks and Pistons.
Yeah.
You're so boring. Choose someone different.
No, I'm going to go with the
a lot of
Celtics.
people-
I'm going to stand up
picking,
business.
A lot of people aren't picking Boston. They're picking OKC,
Yeah.
They're picking OKC. They're
Or
picking Cleveland. They're
Cleveland,
picking
yeah.
who else? So they're picking
the Lakers.
Lakers. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to pick them to repeat, and I'm going to say that they do let go of the gas a little bit in the first round. That's what they do. But then they're going to be like, all right, let's take this serious again, and they're going to turn it up like crazy, and then they're going to go on and win it all. So
Okay.
that's what I think.
I like how he's standing on business like me.
How many games
Like
do you think?
me.
How many games do you think they would lose in total?
In playoffs?
The playoffs, I think more this year than last year,
Okay, that's fair.
but I still think they repeat.
they won a
Probably
stupid
like
amount of games last year, or they
Yeah.
lost a stupid less amount of
Yeah.
games.
yeah,
last year.
it was like 2, right?
It was like 2. It was 3, I think.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I say they lose like 5-6 games.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
still
not
that's
bad.
still
Still really good.
That's dynasty.
Still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would become pretty much a dynasty if they repeat because they'll probably win another one.
Yeah.
So I think Tatum will get Finals MVP this time.
Yes.
He should. He better.
He has. You can see that fire in his belly this year.
Yeah.
He's
he
a lot-
really
he-
wants it.
yeah.
He wants that.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I think everyone keeps getting so distracted with the MVP race, we forget how good Boston is. Because
Yeah.
we all want to pick Denver, rightfully so. We all want to talk about OKC. We want to talk about the rise of Cleveland. We just forget about Boston because they've just always been this good.
Right.
And they've only had one title to show for it because they just, they haven't taken all their matchups seriously.
Right.
And I think last year we finally saw them do that.
Right. They
and it
learned their
worked.
lesson. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm happy for them. I think I'm more curious to see what Boston does next season because I mentioned this in last week's episode. There's a real possibility they could realistically trade for Ja Morant.
Yeah.
If Drew Holiday if they want to get him off the books, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
they could easily go for one of those big point guards like Trae Young as well. So
Interesting.
we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts on the Boston Celtics?
No. Let's move on.
Go on, G.
All right. Oh, I forgot to answer the question actually. I agree in the sense that they will, whatchamacallit?
Repeat.
No, that they will not take their early matchup
First round.
seriously.
Okay.
Right now, Cleveland just looks insane. I can't go against them right now.
Just give them time.
No.
right.
So I'm gonna just say no for now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next question.
For what team?
It's gonna be the Bucks. And all right, so for the Bucks, we all know that Giannis has hinted in the past at potentially leaving Milwaukee. He's given some hints about that.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's more likely to happen? Is it Giannis leaving, or is it another All-Star coming to Milwaukee? What's more likely to happen, and who could that All-Star be if that's more likely?
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I think more likely Giannis leaves, and it's going to happen within the next year or two.
Wow.
Just because I think it depends on how the playoffs go this year. If they get knocked out in first or second round and it's pretty bad, or sweep or gentleman sweep, I think that gives them more than enough to request out. And also, Giannis is an advocate for all the international players playing in the big markets. Luka already has Lakers now. Jokic should go to New York. The Knicks, which won't happen. But that's not realistic. He's not leaving Denver. But Giannis could leave Milwaukee. That's
Okay.
more doable than Jokic.
Where does he go?
Where would he go?
Who?
Giannis.
Giannis?
He's going to that guy's team over there.
Nets.
It probably would happen.
He's going to
Unfortunately,
that
Wow.
guy's team.
I think he's still. Now
do you
that they
think?
paid, I think he still might go to the Warriors. To be honest.
Oh,
I
wow.
think I think he wants to play with Steph.
So
I
Steph,
could see that.
Butler, and Giannis.
Giannis, yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
they're depleting their
That would
draft
be
pick.
Another dynasty, bro.
That would be the end of Draymond. Or
Yes.
maybe it does include Jimmy Butler if he doesn't want to extend past the whatever year
The
he's
2
done.
years.
Right.
Correct.
Problem. The Bucks really don't have the draft assets, and they don't have because most of their draft assets belong to the Portland Trailblazers
Right.
from the Dame trade. I don't know what you could do. Like maybe if you go for like a Scrabini one-time All-Star, like that's that could be a likely option, but I don't really see the Bucks getting everything they need to trade for an All-Star. It just
Yeah.
seems like too much. You're going to gut the whole team.
Exactly.
Okay.
Giannis is 1,000,000% leaving over that, right?
Okay.
I still don't think he leaves, but I think out of all the international stars, he's the most likely to request out. Because he puts a lot of pressure to make moves on the Bucks front office.
He does.
And the fact that he let two of his best friends go in trades in Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. So I don't really think, no one's safe in Milwaukee.
He didn't let them go, right?
Well, I mean, the Bucks probably consulted him about trading these guys, and if he said yes, then no one's safe. That's kind of what it is.
Exactly.
And you don't know how many more years. Like Dame's having a very quietly good season. Like he's playing really well.
is.
How many more years of this realistically are you going to get from him?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
You know what I would love to see?
What?
This is very wishful thinking, but I would love to see Devin Booker in Milwaukee with Giannis.
That's
I think that would
nice.
be an outstanding fit.
You'd have to probably give up Dame.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And I would be fine with that.
Yeah, it's fair.
Dame
I just
for
don't.
both?
I think it's more likely that Giannis goes.
Yeah.
I don't know where he would go. I think the Nets and Warriors are, and the Heat could be another option as well
Oh yeah.
for Giannis to go to. So that's kind of what it is.
Pat
Yeah.
Riley. Pat Riley gets.
That'd be
Giannis
great.
Gets Giannis
Then
and
he could
retires.
stay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's fair.
I like that.
All right,
That's
that was a good. That was a good little round of questions. What do we got for the next round? We have a few more of these left.
Yeah, I have 3 teams. Well, 2 after this one. I have all my good teams left,
Okay.
and they're all West teams. We're gonna go to their favorite team in the Rocky Mountains. That is the Denver Nuggets. So they're having a very interesting season. It's kind of been a nice little roller coaster, but now it's kind of steadied upwards a little bit. They unfortunately dropped out of the 2 seed. They were in a 2 seed for like a day and a half.
They're tied.
They are tied. Okay, I thought they were out for like a day and a half.
They just don't have the tiebreaker right now.
Okay.
Because of the lost column.
But Giannis, international players. Jokic is having a triple-double season with Russ as his company as well, on the same team.
The Russ effect.
Yeah, the Russ effect, right? Jamal Murray's looking pretty decent so far. Christian Braun looks like the second best most improved player behind Cade Cunningham.
I think he honestly should win it over Cade Cunningham.
Really?
Because, like, bro, Cade's
a hot take, man.
Cade's barely improved his stats. He's just an all-star now. He's got a
Exactly.
good team around him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Christian Brown, and there was someone else, I forgot who it was. They've both, like, dramatically improved
Malik.
their stats.
Nah, Malik.
No, I tweeted it out. I got to go find my tweet.
I
Hang on.
saw Braun, Cade. It was on the odds.
Yeah, hold on.
Dyson Daniels?
Yes, Dyson Daniels. That was who it was.
Dyson Daniels, yeah.
So, but you were saying?
Aaron Gordon, of course, has been the injury bug this year. Russ has been phenomenal.
He's been okay.
Their
He's been good, actually.
Their bench has been a little. They're missing their top rookie, of course. Peyton Watson again, injury bug. Straw, they're looking okay.
He just got hurt in the
Oh, you got hurt.
Celtics game. Yeah.
All right.
It was like his calf, I think.
All right, I digress. But I want to focus on one player that's having a disappointing season in my eyes because he was my Finals MVP pick in our preseason.
Forgot about that.
And that's MPJ. And I am very disappointed that this man has not taken the step
Yeah.
to be second to Jokic and pass Murray in every category for points and everything. He's only at 18.5 points, which is not bad for MPJ, but
For a third option, right?
I need MPJ to be in the upper 25
Whoa.
and plus.
For a third option, it's crazy.
No,
work.
he needs to be the second option.
Okay.
That is my.
Jamal Murray's making more money than him.
I don't care about money. MPJ's floor for being the top recruit should have been top recruit in the college class and going into his
Good point.
and everything else. He needs to be close to Jamal or a little better.
I'm,
So
good points. I can't lie.
Okay.
I think the question I have, if they do acquire KD, he's gone.
Or just anyone. pretty
Anyone.
much.
But if they want to move on from MPJ to get better, and he's the asset that everybody wants, can MPJ salvage this season to make him look better for Denver and even possibly better trade bait for
value.
them to trade him in the offseason? Can he salvage his season
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
playoffs and also in the playoffs when they need him the most, and even right now
Yeah.
going into the final half of the season?
Yeah, I think absolutely. There's plenty of time for him to bring his value back up to where it should be. I mean, it's not like he's having a bad season. You said yourself he's averaging 18 points a game.
Yeah.
I think if he gets that up to around the low 20s, 22, even 23, right? I think he can bump that value up like crazy. And I think now's the time to start doing that. This is when it starts getting serious. This is when, players start to elevate their game more is during this time of the year. And if he can do that now and then going into the playoffs, his value goes up tremendously. So
Okay.
I don't think he needs to. I don't think so. Because what we're seeing right now is the next Lauri Markkanen, where his value's kind of, it is what it is. Lauri Markkanen went from Chicago to Cleveland, was just kind of there, was involved in the Donovan Mitchell trade, and became an all-star. And I said this earlier in the week, if MPJ gets traded, get those most improved player futures bets going. because when he's the first option on a shit team, he's going to go off. And we saw a little preview of this a few weeks ago when he dropped 39 points. Then I don't think there's not much that he can really do to salvage the season. I think it kind of is what it is. He really has not played super well in playoff series as of late. He was borderline unplayable in the finals. Against the Lakers, he was decent, and then against the Wolves, he kind of fell off. So we'll see what happens this year. It doesn't matter how good or bad MPJ plays. If the Nuggets don't win the championship, he is for sure getting traded.
Yeah.
So it really just is a matter of what does he do next year, and I think next year he breaks out. And, you know,
I don't know if he can be a first option.
he doesn't have to be. Remember, like Larry Markkinen on a championship team won't be a first option.
Yeah.
But on a shit team, when his usage rate is probably over 30%, he's going to go nuts. And we're going to see high school MPJ come back.
That'd be
And yeah, I think that's something he needs.
Okay.
It's just super unfortunate, you know, the way everything's transpired. Because when he signed his max contract, the CBA didn't exist. So now you got to be mindful of the cap and stuff like that. So I don't think there's really much he can do that will affect anything of his future in Denver. I think it just is what it is. It's a moot point.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
I think even if the Nuggets win the championship, I still think he goes.
Wow.
Because we saw last year this team had a hangover. So if they win again, they got to keep this roster fresh because they're already behind the power curve in the NBA right now. Jokic has no help out there. He needs something. Out of all specifically the national TV games, Christian Brown's been the only one that showed up.
Yeah. Actually, that led the team in scoring yesterday.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's even more incentive to trade him now because you got to pay Christian Brown.
Yeah.
So he's gonna command a decent salary, probably around 18 to 20 a year.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at with him, and that's like the floor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Probably like a Grayson Allen type.
Like a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot more defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's essentially the gist of the Nuggets. Do we have any final thoughts on them?
No.
All right, let's get into my next team. Let's just get the other good team out of the way because there's really not much with them, and it's the OKC Thunder. This is the team that is currently the betting odds favorite to win the NBA Finals. Now, my thing is, and we've seen this with OKC, they keep improving from the previous season, but once they do get to that next point, they completely forget how to play basketball. Right? We saw them make the play-in. They played really well in that first game, and then were abysmal in that second game. Then we saw last year, they were great in the first round against New Orleans, and then they were terrible against Dallas. So my question is, and this is more so around SGA, can SGA elevate his game without free throws in the playoffs? Because in the playoffs, the possession slowed down, the physicality is not called as much, and we saw last year when SGA didn't take more than 10 free throws, his points per game were a lot lower because he couldn't generate the shots that he wanted to get because he couldn't get to the line. So can SGA elevate his game? Can he improve on what he's been doing in the regular season? And can OKC just as a collective unit win the championship? Can they make it work with the double bigs if they're healthy? Can they make this run possible?
I think for me, both of those are a yes. Just because I think the whistle in the playoffs for OKC specifically is going to probably be on a leash where they're not going to be calling a lot because it's the playoffs. And if the Lakers are involved, they're going to get the benefit. Denver, same thing. OKC, probably not as much. And then OKC is a unit. I think 100% they're built for the playoffs. Their bench is phenomenal. From Aaron Wiggins to Jalen and Kenrick Williams. And then the starting five, Dort, Chet, Hartenstein, Kason Wallace, J-Dub, Shea. I can go on and on. Nikola Topic will be back next year, if he's even going to be there.
Yeah.
But they look like they're not the underdog. They're the leader with Cleveland, of course. I think they have the edge just because I trust their star more than Mitchell and Garland, and their big men a little bit more than Mobley and Allen.
So you trust SGA in crunch time more than you do Donovan Mitchell?
I would say so.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
I don't know if I would agree with the big men.
I think Chet probably overpowers Jared Allen. I think Hartenstein and Mobley are kind of.
Chet's guarding Mobley. Hartenstein's going to guard Jared Allen. And Jared Allen bitched him when they played.
Jared Allen's a big dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I kind of value those guys more because I've seen them play on the Knicks. Well, Chet not in the Knicks, but Hartenstein.
True. But I remember the Indiana series. Hartenstein got figured out.
Yeah.
So
I think Mobley against Chet, that's a good matchup. I think I could go either way. I think I can see Allen definitely giving Hartenstein a hard time.
Yeah.
Just because Hartenstein is kind of a skinnier center. Allen is more built.
Turkey with the works.
But I'm banking on just their depth. Also, Cleveland has depth. It's tough. But I like OKC just because I think their guys are a little more polished.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's what I see.
So are they your current pick to win the finals?
I would lean towards them a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's neck and neck with Cleveland, but I think they get the edge.
I had to ask him that now so he doesn't switch up if they don't win
I
it.
think
Stand up
OKC
business, bro.
has the edge.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Respectable pick. What do you think, Gio?
Yeah, so I think all right, so I'll start with this. The refs so far this season, they've done, I think, a disservice for OKC and specifically for SGA because of all the whistles they give him, especially in crunch time.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to come back to bite OKC in the butt in the playoffs. Because now they're in crunch time when it's a close game, which most games are going to be close in the playoffs. You're going to be expecting these calls that you got, and you're not going to get these calls, right?
Exactly.
And so what's going to happen is all those points that you got from free throws in crunch time, that's going to go down. And that's going to wind up in losses because you're not getting those points anymore.
Right.
And so if you ask me who I trust more in crunch time in the playoffs specifically, Donovan Mitchell or SGA, I'm going to go Donovan Mitchell. I feel like he gets the job done more than not, especially this season. I feel like in crunch time he's been outstanding.
Cleveland's had some insane comebacks.
Yes, and Mitchell has been a huge part of that.
OKC's been handling a lot of these games easily. SGA's barely played in fourth quarters.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And whenever SGA does play in fourth quarters and it's a close game, what OKC does is they get out the way and they let SGA do what he does, right?
Right.
And he's good at it because he gets calls and he's a good finisher and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But he gets calls.
Exactly.
Those calls are not going to happen in the playoffs.
Right.
So that's my point. So
yeah, I think this team could easily win it all.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of them playing by committee, not relying solely on
Yes.
SGA to do everything. Like if you can get 22 points a game from Jalen Williams, they'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I don't think SGA's game could get better than this. He's playing so well right now. So you will see a dip in production.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of will it be a fatal blow?
Right.
That's the thing. And I don't know. It's tough because the West is nowhere near as good as we thought it would be. So we'll have to see going forward.
yeah.
So yeah, let's get into the next team.
All right, next team. Next team I got here is the Clippers.
Okay.
Los Angeles Clippers. All right, so the question is, so the Clippers have been a top five in oldest teams in the league for the past few seasons, right? So on average, all their players have been very old for the past few seasons. So the question is, when will Steve Ballmer and Trent Ridden decide to go through a full rebuild, and does a rebuild take Tyronn Lue out of the picture?
Yes,
Okay.
it would. I think so. Because I think the Clippers would need to fire him first before blowing it up.
Okay.
And right now, they're already exceeding expectations. So I really can't see them doing it anytime soon.
Yeah.
You just re-signed Kawhi. He's got no trade value. So they're kind of stuck with this at least till the end of the decade.
Really?
Yeah.
So you see another 5 years
Of
of
mediocrity.
this type of Clippers team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And
that's
Harden's playing phenomenal this year.
Yeah, but he's old.
Yeah, but look
He
at
has
the
what,
season he's
2 more
having.
seasons
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
total?
I think, like Todd said, probably till like the end of the decade, maybe like 2029, 2028, it's going to be the oldest Clippers team, and then it's going to be that rebuild.
Oh man, this might be the oldest team of all time.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
But like OKC still has control of their first round picks.
Oh, man.
It's like crazy. They really don't. They don't have their own unprotected pick until 2030. So like, that's bad. I just don't know. You have to compete right now with the roster you have. Salvage whatever you can of Kawhi and Harden's final years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Norman Powell and Zubac.
And
Yeah, you have those guys. Yeah.
And when it doesn't work out, because it's not an if, we know they're not winning shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you fire Tyronn Lue and
Exactly.
then you figure something else out.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you trade whatever you can, whoever rises up. Because
Now I wish this was sooner. I wish you had said like 2 years.
Yeah.
So then we can kind of speculate where Tyronn Lue can go
that's true.
and who he can coach in the league. But
We don't know.
we have no idea at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah, because right now OKC still has the right to swap this year and in 2027.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not looking good.
So 5 more years of mediocrity
Yep.
for the Clippers.
That's the Clippers, man. That's literally the Clippers are the epitome of mid. And it's really a shame.
It really is.
But
I thought when they got PG and Kawhi, they're on the way up.
they made
but-
one conference finals, and that was the 1 year the Suns figured it out. It's just very unlucky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they would have beaten Milwaukee.
Yeah, we've been close.
Would have been tough.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a quick one because
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Clippers. So we have 2 rounds left. So we'll get into your next team, Antoine. What do we got?
All right. I'll knock off the big dog, and that's Cleveland. So Cleveland's having their best season in recent history. 50-10. They're on a 10-game winning streak. This is their best season probably since the LeBron days. I said beginning of the season that they're too good to be bad. Somebody find that in the podcast. I predicted
You
it.
still put them 5th or 6th.
I predicted it. I saw it.
Wild.
Anyway, the question I think on everybody's minds is if this is going to be a 1-year thing and next year they're going to go back to their 4 and 5 seed that they always thrive in. But that leads me
They need
to
JB Bickerstaff for that.
that leads me to this. Can they keep this sustained success throughout the playoffs?
All right, Cavs hater.
Yeah.
What do you got?
You guys already know my position on this.
And you already know my position. So,
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll restate my position.
yeah, just briefly.
All right, so we all know the Cavs have been really good this season. I even have had to admit that.
Yes, you
Recently in the chat, Tyler was like, Gio, the Cavs are good. Will you admit it? I'm like, yes, with a sigh, I admit it. So they're good this season, but that doesn't mean they're going to be good in the postseason.
got. Okay.
Playoffs.
Even though everything,
postseason.
you're right. Post regular season, even though everything right now is pointing towards them being good in the playoffs, I just can't see it.
So would you take
And it's not for any logical reason either. It's for
right? But would you take the Bucks or Pacers over them in a 2nd round series?
I would.
That's actually crazy.
That's insane.
So you think
Why?
you think the Pacers can?
All right.
So you think the Pacers then can replicate what they did last year?
All right, fine. Only if it's against.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
Dang, I can't though.
Nah.
All right, no. They'll lose to the Celtics.
Okay, that's fair.
They'll lose to the Celtics, but I just don't see them going to the finals. The Cavs. I just can't see. It's the Cavs.
It's the Cavs, but
It's the Cavs without LeBron. I can't see it.
look, there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, who is that?
It's that starting 5 is
Okay.
freaking insane.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on, like the way Garland's been playing specifically this year, but the way Evan Mobley's elevating his game
Yeah.
is why I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will win the NBA Finals.
Whoa. Win?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, they're my pick right now to win it all.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Like
think
I
he's
said,
wrong at
I
all.
think whoever wins between the Cavs and Pacers wins the whole thing. And right now, I favor Cleveland. So
Yeah.
I trust them right now. Boston's not durable at this current moment in time, and championship hangovers are possible. And I'm not fully bought into OKC. Right now, I don't believe in the Lakers. I don't believe in the Nuggets. Right now, Cleveland's the only team that's proving to me that they can actually knock Boston off and win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he's wrong.
they can definitely sustain this,
Yeah.
without a
Okay.
doubt. And I think we'll see collectively how well they do.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Caris LeVert. He just hit a game winner.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, for Atlanta.
It was a Euro step game winner against the Grizzlies.
right.
Layup game winners always bore me.
It was a Euro step, though. It was cold.
Okay, fine.
I'll
So,
watch the video.
all right. Let's get into my penultimate team. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors.
This is your last team?
No, second to last.
Second.
Oh, that's what penultimate means.
Yeah, penultimate, second to last.
Yeah.
So Golden State's looked great. since Jimmy Butler's gotten there. We talked about him last week. Go check out the last episode, link in the description. He's been playing phenomenal at just sort of just elevating the guys around him. There's one thing I'm noticing, though, with Golden State, and it's a little concerning. Steph, on offense, he has to do everything. And when he's off the floor, their offense can't generate shit. So my question is, can Jimmy or can anyone pick up some slack offensively to help Steph Curry out?
Perfect question. So I think the guys that need to do this, it's a collection of their really good role guys. So Pajemski, Kuminga once he comes back, Moses Moody, and Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
It's a collection of all those guys.
I agree.
Buddy and Moses for the shooting, Pods for playmaking, and Kuminga just for big body strength, posting down low, dunks.
Fast breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those four guys need to take that off Steph when he goes to the bench. God forbid an injury happens. Jimmy, of course, will be playing. And Draymond, whatever. He's not going to score for you. I think it's the collection of those four guys.
You know what I think? Crazy, insane take. I think Steve Kerr has to go.
Oh, wow. They just extended him, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I think he has to go.
Okay, fair enough. You just don't like him.
I think he's had enough. I mean, his time in Golden State with being successful is done. I think they need a new change of coaching, a new change of scenery for Steph. Just a new mind in there to try to figure out what they can do in this next generation of NBA basketball to, get the most out of the players that are there, not just Steph Curry.
Right.
He's old now. We can't put this all on his back anymore. I mean, he can do it, but it's not going to be ideal for him or the team. Right. So I think we need a new coach in there. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But I think that would be the best. That would be the most ideal situation for Curry and for the Warriors if they get a new coach, possibly a new system where these newer, younger players can thrive. Kuminga, Pods, all these guys can find their groove in the NBA. And then Curry can be, he can still be that guy on the team, but get these guys involved more.
You have to. Because just like we talked about this with Denver, when Jokic is off the floor, they stink.
Yeah.
How do you not have a singular game plan or any sort of scheme to just make something click?
Yeah. I think what happened to Steve Kerr is he's stuck in his ways, and he's so in love with Steph Curry that he.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, Curry is one of the best point guards of all time. It's hard to say, but it's true. And I think it's hard for him to get out of his old ways. You know what I mean?
Understandable, yeah.
I think it's time for a new coach. But
do you think Jimmy could be the guy that could pick up the slack?
I don't think so.
It's Jimmy and the four guys that I said.
It's going to be a collective, as Anthony said.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
It's going to be a collective.
Hopefully it doesn't gas Curry out.
Yeah,
that's really the only concern. Because right now they're in the honeymoon phase of this team. So we'll see what happens in about a month or so. Or even just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right, get into your next team, Gio.
All right, so my next team is the Timberwolves. So we all know the Timberwolves took a pretty major step back this season. So the question is, what do they need to do now or in the offseason to get back to where they were last season?
Oh, there's one answer and one answer only.
Go for it.
You ship off Julius Randle. Wait, he's a free agent.
No, he's got a player option.
Oh, okay. You ship off Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and Gio's favorite, Rudy Gobert, away.
Get him out of here.
You send all three out, and you bring back Naz Reid.
Of course, you keep him.
That's your starting center. Or power forward.
I think you need to keep Rudy for now.
No, you bring
I think you keep Rudy for now, and
to.
that's me saying that.
You have to keep Rudy.
Okay.
Right now, I think Naz is a 4. Definitely get rid of Julius Randle. There's no need to trade Dante right now. He's making $11 million a year.
Yeah.
Try and get his value up so you at least can get a bunch of seconds for him.
Okay.
And
also, let Mike Conley walk.
I think let Rob Dillingham play.
Yeah.
He is playing. He's playing a lot more minutes now.
Well, yeah.
Let Mike
guess.
Conley walk.
Well, he's still under contract.
Move him. There you go.
Jaden McDaniels is playing great.
J-Max playing
Maybe
really good.
lean into that a little bit more.
I think right now there will be a choice of keeping Nas or Alexander Walker. You need to get off of Nickeil Alexander Walker. There's no need to keep him anymore.
Okay.
Get Nas Reed signed.
Yes.
Because the Nets could easily nab him from Minnesota, and that would be awesome.
That would be
But
awesome.
It would be great, but it's not feasible. I know whatever we give Nas, the Wolves will probably match, but Nas could easily be on a different team next season. So the Wolves need to pay him.
Yeah.
And look, the Wolves just needed to get out. Cat's contract is garbanzo. Like there's no reason he should be making $60 million a year in however many years he gets paid. So they needed to get off of the bad contract, and they were smart. That was when it was at its peak. Because
So what do they need to do now, though?
Right
during the
now?
season, like what can they do now to have their best chance at doing something good in the playoffs?
just get everyone back healthy because they're just not healthy right now. Right now they're without Rudy Gobert and I forgot.
Randall just came back.
Randall just came back. So once
Yeah,
Rudy
just
comes
Rudy.
back, see what you can do. There's
You think
really.
they can make a push?
Let me look at the standings right now. 'Cause right now they're in the play-in, I believe.
They're going to push for 6 seed.
They got to play. They're a half game out of the 6th seed, so
Yeah.
it's possible.
It is.
Get yourself in the playoffs, and then just bow out to Denver in round 1. That seems like a feasible option. So yeah, not too bad. We'll kind of flow through through these last rounds because we're already 40 minutes into this segment. So Antoine, what's your last team?
We're going to close it off with Houston. So Houston really improved this season a lot. It's kind of in that same space as Memphis, Denver, LA, all in that like 2-game difference between the 5 and a 2 seed. So I think the big question is this going to be the core that they're going to roll with for their future into this new era for them, or do they need that superstar to take them over the hump?
Ooh, I have a controversial opinion on this.
Can you shoot for
I
it?
want to hear your thoughts
You
first.
hear my thoughts?
Yes.
Do they need that superstar? I'm gonna say no, not right now. I say you continue to ride with what you got and continue to develop what you got until you bring in any sort of superstar that could halt that that progress of those young guys. I say you continue to ride with those guys. What do you say, Tyler?
I agree. They already have their superstar. And his name is Amen Thompson.
Okay.
I love it.
That man is the franchise player.
Whoa.
That man will be the starting point guard on this team once
it's
Fred
not-
VanVleet leaves.
It's not
Fred VanVleet's
Şengün.
gonna be gone.
Şengün,
It's not Jalen Green.
not Jalen Green.
It's Amen Thompson.
Yeah.
Amen Thompson.
Crazy. Okay.
Amen Thompson will be the best player on this team in 3 years. I'm so confident of that.
Wow.
The way he plays on both ends, defensively, this guy's not real. Like he's not real. He makes no sense. He's just a dog on that end. His perimeter defense is outstanding. His rim protection stats are through the roof. And on the offensive end, his playmaking, it's like a more premium Dyson Daniels. I didn't think you could find a better role than Dyson, but the way he's playing is outstanding. And we've seen, I know Şengün was an all-star. He really statistically is not having that great of a season.
Yeah.
He's improved on the defensive end, but right now, I mean, Jalen Green's out the door in any superstar trade. Amen Thompson's your guy.
Wow.
He will be the best player on this team. And I think he could even be an all-star next season if he keeps this up.
I heard Amen saying in like a pre-game interview, he was saying he feels like he can do anything on the court right now
Because he can.
because he literally.
And look, don't let the blood clot slow him down, but Asar Thompson, same thing, can help
Yeah.
Cade a lot.
Yeah.
But Cade's the best player on that team.
Yeah.
I think Amen's slightly better than his brother.
Right now, at least.
Yeah.
I think just in general.
In general.
That's why he was drafted before him.
Okay.
So
One pick.
still though.
Yeah, before
The Rockets
he's
knew
the
what they
better
were
brother.
doing.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, man, Amen is getting super confident. I don't know if I don't disagree at all.
he needs to be the best player on this team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
All right.
I want to save my last team for last.
You want me
so
to
I
go?
You to go next.
Sure.
Yeah.
His last team is Dallas.
Wrongo. My last team is the Blazers.
Why are the Blazers in this?
Good question.
Well, it was either the Blazers or it was like San Antonio. But San Antonio, we already know what their season looks like.
He has Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah, probably. All right, Blazers. Should the Blazers continue to believe in Scoot Henderson as being their future franchise player? That's the first question. And how many years until the Blazers start to compete for championships again?
Ooh. Okay. So, yes, I'm a big Scoop believer.
Okay.
So yes, you stick by Scoot. I think obviously Anthony would get traded away, so Scoot gets the starting minutes. You can get a nice haul for Anthony. They have a lot of tradable pieces. It's up to them if they do move on or not. And I think for competing for them, right now they're pretty close to the play-in.
Yeah, they're a half game behind
yeah.
Phoenix right now, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're on the cusp. So I would
Okay.
give them, for looking at development for the young guys, I would say 2 years.
2 years for championships?
That's
No.
crazy.
Oh, you said champion?
He said
Oh,
championships.
Oh,
Yeah.
playoffs 2 years, championships 6 or 7.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a reason why we included the Blazers in this because right now they're like one of the hottest teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like in the past like 15 games, they're like up there with Cleveland and Detroit
Yeah.
and OKC. They've been playing really good basketball.
Yeah.
Stick by Scoot. Please do.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Good kid. He's a great player. He's got a lot of upside, but he should not be the franchise player.
Oh,
That should go to Shaden Sharp.
okay.
I
Yeah.
love the way he's been playing this season. He's finally healthy. If he can keep developing on this path, he will be the best player on this team.
Anthony, can you give me his stats really quick
Shaden?
on the season?
Shaden?
Yeah.
17.5 points.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. I think it's his best scoring season by far.
Give me
Yes.
his rebounds, assists, all that.
3 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 45% from the field and 33% from
Steals, blocks, what's that looking like?
nothing really.
Nothing? Okay.
Yeah, just points.
Yeah. Remember, this is just the first, this is really his
Right.
first main year of playing
Yes, it
starting
is.
minutes.
It
It's the
is.
2-3. And we're really seeing him kind of come into his own. And I like his upside a lot more than Scoot. Unless they wind up winning the lottery. Let's say they get Cooper Flag or let's say they get AJ DeBanza, then that might be different. As far as competing for a championship, getting one of those two guys accelerates the process. So if they do win one of the next 2 or 3 lotteries, I say in maybe 5 years. If they don't, I agree with 6 or 7. I think they're a long ways away. But things are starting to look up for them.
They look
and I'm
very
really
good.
happy for them.
Good.
Yeah.
They'll be in the playoffs within the next couple of years, though.
100%.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Last team.
let's get into the last team. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Of course.
Oh man. Look, I sat at my PC last night for a good 30 minutes trying to figure out what I could figure out, like a question to ask. Like, can AD come back? Can Kyrie lead this team to a championship? I was thinking like all the X's and O's. And then it just dawned on me. The question's really freaking simple. Can they gain their fan base's trust back? Can the Mavericks sort of redeem themselves at any sort, way, shape, or form? Can they navigate through this future successfully? But mainly, can they gain their fan base back?
I think this question is right now it's a no, but it goes to a yes if they do trade for one man. That's Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant single-handedly gets their fan base hooked back on because of all the things that KD brings to a team, and they'll be selling their tickets with an 8% increase with no problem next year if they are healthy. If they all are healthy. AD, Gaff, Live. They're gonna trade Lively probably for KD.
Yeah.
And other guys. But if you bring KD in there with Clay, Kyrie, AD, I'm assuming PJ Washington, that is a beautiful starting 5 when all on the court together. So I think as of now, it's a no because LA is in second place right now and are looking so happy in LA, and the Mavs are not happy at all. But KD, I think, restores a little bit of the happiness that they had with Luka, but not the full potential because KD is old.
Yeah.
He's going to retire in a few years. Luka is not going to retire for another decade.
It would not surprise me if KD plays another decade.
Whoa.
How old is KD?
He's only like 36, and
Another
46?
decade.
I don't think he'll get to 46, but like maybe at like he
43
I think
max.
5 years.
KD has no significant other. He has no kids. He has no life. He literally just wants to hoop.
Yeah.
He literally
Yeah.
he gets emotional talking about basketball. He's going to
Wow.
play till the wheels fall off.
This man is insane.
Yeah, he is not married. He has no kids.
KD's
He
crazy.
like remember Remember the Mr. Mosby meme? I'm married to my job.
Oh yes.
That's exactly what KD is.
Yeah.
Katie does it for the love of the game.
For the love of the freaking game.
Love that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Gio?
Yeah. When I was 9 years old, I remember I was walking in the park, right? And then all of a sudden a dog started chasing me, right? Bit me.
Yeah.
And I still have scars to this day. I healed, but I still have scars to this day.
Exactly.
That's what the Mavs fans are going to have. That's what's going to happen, right? So they will heal, but they're going to have scars from this, from whatever happened here with, the front office and trading Luka. They're still going to have those scars.
Yeah.
So I think same thing. I agree completely with Anthony. If they get Kevin Durant, I think they're going to heal, but they're never going to forget losing Luka Doncic. You're never going to forget that.
Exactly.
So that's my answer to that.
Yeah. Look, I think it starts with firing Nico Harrison. I think it also starts with Patrick Dumont selling the team. That's another thing.
Moving to Vegas.
Well, no, because if you move to Vegas and you lose everything, the whole franchise is gone, right? You could obviously
Yeah.
come back as a new Dallas Mavericks, but you lose the history because
Yes.
all the franchise records will belong to whatever that Vegas team would be.
Yeah.
So fire Nico Harrison, send him on a one-way trip to Neptune, have Patrick Dumont sell the team, give Jason Kidd a fat pay raise because my man is going through it right now. And then I think the only way that this really heals is if they knock the Lakers out in a playoff series at any point in the near future.
Wow.
That too.
Because bro, it's one thing to lose Luka, and then if they eliminate, like if the Lakers sweep the Mavs in a conference finals, nasty, diabolical work.
That would hurt so bad.
I feel so bad for Mavericks fans. I genuinely feel nauseous for them. Because like I was heartbroken. I was depressed when Kevin Durant got traded. I was never the same person for like a month. But that what happened to them is just worse.
Yeah.
Because they had a future. They went to the finals. We touched one second round series.
Yeah.
But I was broken from that.
Yeah.
Losing Luke, I can't even fathom that.
Yeah.
I can't just. It makes no sense.
Every time I think about it, it just gets worse.
I still some of my friends on Twitter would just be like, I still can't believe Luka got traded.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's just so bad.
Yeah, but to the Lakers, if any team, in the
I
NBA,
could think of worse.
the Knicks.
Yeah, the orange and blue shite over in Manhattan.
Oh, no, that's not worse.
That's not worse. The Lakers are the worst.
That's
Lakers are
aura.
Yeah.
Aura in New York.
No, that's
But
Aura.
it's just I don't think they will ever. Mavs fans will. This
never heal?
generation will never
Yes.
forgive the Mavs.
Yeah.
But kids that will be born within the next 5 to this new, I think they're calling it like generation beta now.
Yes.
This generation will be the ones that find their true love
it was
with the
Alpha.
organization. That what just ended in
Oh, really?
2025.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So
Yeah.
this new generation of fans will love the Mavericks naturally.
Exactly.
But anyone that at least has some coherence in life and has two brain cells they can bang together should never forgive the Mavericks ever again till the day they die.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
yeah, fuck Nico Harrison. And with that brings to the end of episode 47 of the Floor Spacer podcast. Gio, it's that point in the video. What do the people comment at home if they are still with the flow?
Comment down green
Because
Green?
you're wearing green.
because I'm wearing green.
You're wearing green.
Wow.
Irish spring green.
Irish spring green. Shout out Flight.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a bunch of great episodes planned over the month of March. Stay tuned for that, including our 50th episode, which drops in just 3 weeks' time. So be on the lookout for it all. And then, for those OG viewers and subscribers, it's just business as usual when it comes back to the playoffs.
Exactly.
We know exactly what to do. We're going to do our full predictions and everything like that. And we're just really excited.
We are.
I think this is really the start of something great. And, that's kind of that. So if you do enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, try and get us to 5K subs as soon as possible. Hit the bell. If you're on Spotify, audio platforms, give us 5 stars, leave a review, answer the polls. Follow our socials at Floor Spacer Pod on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok down in the description below. Our personal ones are here on the screen below all three of us. Get Geo to 1 million Instagram followers. And guys, do we have anything to say before we head on out for the week?
Let's go to sleep.
Anything from you, Gio?
With Steph Curry.
Going to sleep with Steph Curry is a very interesting activity.
Yo, end the episode, bro.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know about the endeavors that you get into with a certain San Franciscan man. But we hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. We love you all endlessly. Fuck Nico Harrison, and we'll see you all next week in episode 48. Peace out.